What is going on, Headliner Nation? It's no longer just me and Kyle. We have ourselves, me and Swag Rich. We have a special guest, and it's the man, the myth, the legend, Dr. Ethan Turner, coming on the live stream with us. Why? Because people are getting hurt and people need a doctor in the house. You guys ready to go for another awesome Sunday night live stream?
I'm ready for a doctor.
I hope so.
Right. What are you doing, Kyle? What's going on?
What do you mean?
People want to know why you're standing.
Why am I standing? Because when Swag Rich is in the house, he needs to be able to move freely, if you know what I mean. Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Ethan, I kind of feel like we should just let him be. Like, just leave him alone.
He should probably get that checked out, honestly.
Yeah, there's something not right. But hey, here it is, Sunday night. We've made it through another week. We're talking more fantasy football because a lot of drafts are happening now. A lot of people in the middle of drafts. A lot of people have drafts coming up within the next week or so. So we're going to do our best to answer as many questions as we possibly can. Plus, got a couple draft guides to give away. If you haven't drafted yet, don't miss out on the opportunity to get your draft guide right now. The chat is already popping. We have 200 people here right now. Hit the like button for us because we want to try to break a record. I think the most we had last week at one point, Kyle, was like 700-800 maybe. We're trying to hit 1,000 people at one time watching. I don't know where Kyle's going, but hit that like button. Let's get some more people in here. Let's talk some football. And Kyle, we're going to start right off. Our boy Samson gets me lifted. I almost pronounced that completely wrong. Says, are you worried about the Melvin Gordon and Swift injuries? So I'm guessing this one me and Kyle probably shouldn't need to be here. Everything's going to go towards Ethan anyway. Are you worried? What about DeAndre Swift? Right off the bat, are you worried about DeAndre Swift missing out on all these reps?
I do worry a little bit just for the beginning of the season. The injury doesn't really concern me that much. I haven't gotten an exact diagnosis, but basically just dealing with a leg issue that's keeping him out of practice. I think they're being cautious with him. I really do. I don't feel like they're trying to do too much too soon with the rookie. The preseason is already just a mess with no preseason games. They're just trying to make it to the season and keep everybody healthy. So no, I'm not concerned about the Swift injury. I do think that it might cost him a little bit of ground just at the beginning of the season. You might not see him used to his full potential week 1 or 2. But then, by week 4 or 5, he should be totally fine and getting closer to building up that bell cow reps. As far as Melvin Gordon, he's just dealing with a rib contusion. Again, teams are going to be cautious this time of year. There's no reason to push somebody out there. There's no stress to try to force them into reps. And with Gordon, you're talking about a guy that's a vet. He knows what he needs to do to get ready for the year and be healthy. And they're just trying to get to week 1, honestly.
Yep, absolutely. I got a quick story to share real quick before we get into another question. I got an email today, or actually it was yesterday. By the way, we've been getting emails and DMs and messages all over the place. Everybody wanting us to rate lineups and stuff. We'll ask for those when we're ready. Okay, we'll ask for some more.
Settle down, people.
Bombarded.
Just keep sending them. It's fine. I'm having a good time.
Moly.
I can't even keep up with it. But anyway, I got a quick story. We have somebody who is he's a doctor also, and he went to see a patient. He was working the night shift, and he was watching our live stream, and he muted it, put it in his pocket. Accidentally, somehow in his pocket, it got unmuted. And the reason I'm saying this is because the same person whose question we're answering next is who I was talking about. It's my swollen taint. That was the first thing that the patient heard was my swollen taint. And it was an elderly lady, and she didn't understand what that was. But our boy, my swollen taint, back in the chat, says, Kyle acts all cool on the live show and then asks me in DMs how many golf balls I can fit in my mouth. I told him 3, and now he's asking to meet up.
Wow. Since when do my private DMs need to be aired all over the place?
Yeah.
And it wasn't golf balls, it was peaches.
Wow. Anyway, what about another name I'm seeing a lot here in the chat since we got Ethan? Jalen Reagor. And this is probably...
Stop. No, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. Okay, I've been trying to deal with this all day today and process this emotionally, and I haven't been able to do it yet.
Well, we're gonna work through this as a team, Kyle. We're gonna work through it because, people want to know answers. And Jalen Reagor is a name that we've talked about on this channel for months now. And hearing that with the word of the injury, looking like he could miss up to about 4 weeks, possibly even more, is a is a huge blow to that team. So does that all of a sudden boost up the likes of a Deshaun Jackson or something like that? But what do you take away from the Reagor injury, Ethan?
I think obviously it's a blow for a rookie to get hurt at the beginning of the year. They never tend to bounce back the way that we had hoped they would. The hype is obviously there. He's dealing with a labral tear, so in his shoulder. So you're looking at, they said it was a small labral tear. The labrum isn't super big, so I'm not sure. Obviously it's not like surgery right now big, but it doesn't mean that it can't get worse as the season goes on. So my biggest concern is, you give him 2 to 3 weeks to recover, and then he's going to test it out. And then at that point, he's going to decide, okay, do I need to get this? Can I even play with this? And so for me, as much as I love Jalen Reagor and have him way too much exposure right now, I'm a little concerned that he's going to try to come back. It's going to hurt. And they're going to say, you know what? It's your first year. It's kind of COVID. We got all the season's funky anyway. Let's just shut you down, get you healthy. And we know we have big plans for you. First round pick. It's not worth it for the risk for us. That's my biggest concern, is that they'll actually shut him down just for his own safety. But yeah, I mean, obviously you're going to I look at the tight ends, Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, they're getting a bump. Deshaun Jackson is definitely worth a flyer now at the end of the draft. And, really the Eagles are snake bitten this year. I mean, they really are. We're not really seeing too much. Their wide receiver core was snake bitten last year, and it's just continued. So
bring on Greg Ward once again.
Greg Ward making another appearance, which is actually
Zach
really
Ertz
funny.
is going to have 200 targets this year. All right, next topic. I'm seeing another name, and I hate to feel like I'm just bashing on you, Swag Rich, but it's another one of your love childs that we're getting a lot of questions about. It's Joe Mixon. A lot of people worried about Joe Mixon. To me, it's more precautionary, but I'm no doctor either. Are you worried about Joe Mixon, Ethan?
Yeah, he's been dealing with some migraines. I think what he's really dealing with is just I need money-itis. Obviously, the new CBA has definitely discouraged players from holding out traditionally, and I think what we're seeing is potentially the result of that. So he has migraines. There's no way to really test for migraines. There's no way to tell if he's telling the truth or not. It's kind of a genius way to get out of practice if you're trying to negotiate a new contract. So I can't confirm that is for sure what the reason is. Obviously, if he's having migraines, that is an issue. We've seen other players deal with migraines in the past, but for the most part, I really do feel like this is probably more to do with his contract and not really wanting to put himself out there in the preseason when he's not going to be making, really what he thinks he deserves. So am I concerned about it? Not really. Not long-term or short-term, really. I really do feel like this is just kind of him using the rules to his advantage a little bit.
Can I be blunt for just a second?
Can I just be super blunt? Second. Yes, one second.
1 second. First off, I don't know where I put my water. This is going to be a problem. Number 2, okay? Swag Rich, don't give no Fs about migraines, okay? Your boy, Joe Mixon, is going to be on the field week 1. Lock it in, baby. Lock him in your lineups.
I love it. Now, I'm going to let you get to these next couple questions here, Kyle, that we got. But first, Taylor is in the chat.
What's up, Taylor?
Taylor says he feels like he's watching a weird B movie starring Seth Rogen, Jack Black, and Kid Rock.
I want to know, who do we think is who? And
I'm definitely Seth Rogen because everybody tells me that for some reason.
They think you look like Seth Rogen?
Everybody does, and I have no idea why.
I don't see it. I could see Kid Rock being Kyle for sure.
Yeah, that leaves Jack you Black, to be Jack
that's
Black.
A compliment. That's actually a compliment to me.
All right, Kyle, back to your questions.
Okay.
I'm going to let you read the next one because it addresses you.
Seclane wants to know if I know who Tippa is, and I cannot answer this on the live stream, but over on our new gaming channel, Headliner Gaming, head over to YouTube, Headliner Gaming, okay? It's the red and black like controller symbol. Don't click on the wrong one. Someone tried to steal our crap, okay? Don't let them get that.
It's not crap, but
don't try to subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to this channel if you can at some point in time. But your boy was live streaming this weekend, and James kept popping into the chat asking me if I know who Tippa was, and I fell for it the first time, and he came back with a not so PG-13 response. So
perfect.
I'm not allowed to respond.
All right,
but Lucas has a question.
Perfect.
Lucas says, went running back heavy, got Chubb, Sanders, and Jacobs. Oh, good thing I'm standing up because I wouldn't be able to sit down. But my wide receivers are Ridley, McLaurin, Woods, and Gallup. Do I need to trade for a true wide receiver one in a PPR league? I don't think so. I love that lineup. It's looking sexy.
Nope. You already got Woods and McLaurin. Like, what kind of...
You already got what? Ethan, PG. Okay, I know you're new here, but you can't talk about having Woods on the live stream, okay? I need you to calm down.
I'm offended. And I told you before we started that I'm not following any of your rules, Swag Rich.
I don't conform to what you want.
You can stick your rules in the garbage can.
Perfect. What about, let's see, what other kind of questions do we have here? Kevin says, I'm a lovable Seth Rogen. I'm way smarter and cooler than Seth Rogen is.
I think you're funnier, too.
Brady Wren, Nick Chubb, or Austin Ekeler in a full PPR. Go.
In a full PPR, I do have Ekeler just a wee bit higher. They're like right next to each other.
Ethan?
I agree. I'm pretty high on Ekeler this year. So to me, this is in a full PPR. I feel like you're pulling hairs. I mean, you're splitting hairs, pulling hairs. I
mean, don't pull hairs. Those
you don't want to pull hairs.
That's what you have Manscaped for. So you
don't go check out Manscaped. Hairs. You don't want pulled hairs. That is not acceptable. But
absolutely. I mean,
but yeah, I have Ekeler.
Get yourself a lawnmower before you start pulling things out. Our boy Need Upside in the chat, and we see this on a weekly basis.
Oh,
it's pretty awesome to see that the community continues to do this. We've had somebody do this every week for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Come into the chat, and he's donated $100 to pay it forward to 5 members of Headliner Nation who have not drafted yet. They're looking for a draft guide. Need Upside has just donated 5 of them for you. So if you're looking for one, let us know. But don't be spamming it. If you say it 15 times, I'm not going to catch my attention any more than just once. So
thank you very much, Upside. Quit staring at my backside.
Wow. We can say that.
Stop saying you didn't lie.
We can say that because he's one of our MVP patrons, so we talk to him a lot. So it's not like this is somebody who we have no idea who it is. Him and Kyle go way back. I mean, I think Kyle said that he would push him down a flight of stairs if you ever met him.
Upside, thank you so much for your generosity tonight, Headliner Nation, and us appreciate you. That's for Anna if she's out there watching.
Wow. And that didn't take long for you to start whispering. What about, here's a question from Mob Squad. What's our opinion on Leonard Fournette? Like him, love him, hate him? What do you think, Ethan?
I'm all about Leonard Fournette in 2020. He's playing for a contract. He has no competition. Don't tell me about Chris Thompson. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not concerned about Chris Thompson. They're going to run him to the ground as long as they get a chance to, if the team isn't down by 20 as soon as the first half ends. But for the most part, I think he's the cheapest bell cow that you can get in drafts this year, outside of maybe Melvin Gordon. But even then, I mean, I'd still rather have the upside of Fournette. So I'm all in.
Kyle?
All right, here's the thing. Kyle's not here tonight. Stop calling me Kyle, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, okay, Swag Rich says, I'm a little down on Fournette this year. Ethan doesn't mind Chris Thompson. I, however, believe that they are going to utilize Chris Thompson if he is healthy. So if you're drafting Leonard Fournette, you're hoping that Chris Thompson gets the injury bug like he has in the past. Because, again, John Gruden and him are very familiar. So he's familiar in the system. We know what he can do in the passing game. Do I think that Leonard Fournette is all of a sudden going to see all of his targets disappear? I do not. But this is a team that's going to be awful, awful, awful this year. They are probably going to have to throw it a little bit more than what they would like to. And in those situations where they're down late in the game and they're just trying to scramble those 2-minute type drills, things of that nature, you might see Chris Thompson go on the field and just not come off for extended periods of time. So
I don't mind Fournette. I mean, obviously I'm not one of those guys that's going to go heavy wide receiver, and I don't want Fournette to be my number 1 by any means. But if he's my You know, my RB2, my RB3 this year, absolutely perfect. Love it. I actually did that in one of our Patreon-only leagues here this year. First draft guide I'm going to give away that caught my attention was to Sparkles David. He said he's a suffering Browns fan and he just needs a little bit of love. So Sparkles David, there is a email address in the description of this video. Send me an email there from this account and I'll shoot you over a draft guide. He's the first one.
Joe 10-22-94 says just drafted yesterday, grabbed Dak Prescott in the 7th round, stacked him with Blake Jarwin. Okay, so love me some Dak Prescott. Obviously, we have been some of the biggest Dak Prescott truthers here at the Fantasy Headliners for 3 years now, and we've nailed it every single year. So we're expecting big things again this year. However, Blake Jarwin, I'm not on board with. If you don't have another tight end right now, find one. At this point, if you've already drafted and he's your tight end 1, definitely going to want to try and get like a Chris Herndon off the waiver wire, maybe take a shot on OJ Howard, maybe grab Gerald Everett, something like that. You're going to have someone to back him up because they just have two. Jarwin's basically going to be the number 5 target on that team because you're going to have your 3 big wide receivers and then Zeke and then Jarwin. So I just don't see anything big coming from Jarwin. Yes, he's been having a really good camp, but I'm not buying into that transitioning over to the season.
Don't you disrespect Tony Pollard either.
And I like Tony Pollard. I've got nothing.
I will not sit here and handle Tony Pollard hate.
Okay, Anna throws out a dono. Appreciate you, Anna. It's not rude. Okay.
Mike Moment says that you are the father, though, Swag Rich. That you are the father, that you impregnated his girlfriend a week or so ago. Just so the people at home know, when I started this phone call and Kyle entered the chat here before he went live, the camera was pointed directly downwards. So I got blessed with a face full of junk to start my evening. So hopefully your evening is going a little bit better.
My pants were on.
Yeah, but I mean, still. Taylor in the chat saying, hey, 500 people watching, only 165 likes. You gotta hit the like button if you want more free draft guides. So Taylor throwing that out there.
Oh,
he's dangling it. He's dangling the carrot.
I want to institute a new nickname for Taylor. Can I?
You better be respectful because we really need him.
I know we do. From now on, Taylor, and we can vote on this if we'd like to. I'm gonna be calling him Tay Daddy.
Wow.
Is there anybody against Tay Daddy? Let me know in the chat if Tay Daddy is a no.
Or maybe you have a better nickname for him. Throw it in the chat also. What about...
Zaclane is back in the chat. What did you guys eat today? Also, Kyle sucks at Warzone. Zaclane, that was a bad night. Okay, I'm going to defend Kyle. You know who's better at Warzone? Swag Rich, okay? I wipe Kyle all over the place when we play some Warzone. So next stream, your boy Swag's going to be on there running some Warzone. So that's number 1. Also, Kyle just had a bad night. Okay, he was up until like 3 o'clock in the morning before that. Didn't get a whole lot of sleep. It wore on him. Let the poor guy be. What did I eat today? I had some more apple fritters. I had 6 apple fritters this weekend.
Yeah, that's weird. What about another question here before you start looking at Taylor nicknames? Edward 2. He asked a question. CMC for Michael Thomas and Chris Carson. Would you do it?
CMC for who?
Michael Thomas and Chris Carson.
Oh, no.
I probably wouldn't.
I probably wouldn't either. I don't.
It's close.
It's really close. I just don't know I mean, it sounds like Chris Carson's going to be good, but I'm still not sold that the hip injury just doesn't linger at some point throughout the year.
I agree.
And that's coming from a doctor. So, I mean, if I'm going to pay him to be the doctor here, I got to listen to what he says. So,
JN Smith says, yo, what's up, guys? Hashtag Rojo, Swagrich, twin drafted. I think James White will do big things this year. And Gibson, your thoughts. Stay safe, guys. What's going on, Jane Smith? Appreciate that donation. James White, number 1. We've been all over James White all offseason long, even before they signed Cam Newton, even before Sony Michel got hurt. We were telling you months ago that when you draft, James White needs to be on your team in half PPR and PPR formats. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 for Antonio Gibson. I was off Antonio Gibson until Darius Geis got himself booted out of town with his unexpected behavior, and because of that, now I'm a little bit more on board. However, it's probably going to be a few weeks. Okay, just remember that this is a guy that did not have too much. Okay. He did not have too many carries, didn't have a whole lot of time, a whole lot of work in college. You're going to have to let him kind of get into the system. No preseason games, everything like that. That's what's going on with that. Okay. That's my thoughts.
I mean, I somewhat agree. I still love James White. Really the only running back I want to own in New England. Antonio Gibson, I see the hype. I see the potential. But like you said, I don't think I'm going to see it right away. Adrian Peterson's still going to take some touches in that backfield. Bryce Love has looked okay at times. I don't think it's just going to be the Antonio Gibson show, but I think we'll see flashes of it to start the season.
And real quick before we move on, I just want to toss a reminder out there to everybody. B-Lee, this is looking at you, man. This is a respectful area, okay? If you're going to come into the chat and be throwing out slurs like that, you're gone, okay? We'll boot you from the channel. You won't be able to partake in this anymore, okay? We've had to say it several times to people this week. This is a respectful community.
That's right. We don't put up with nobody's bullcrap around here. Yep. Mob Squad 1914 had a question for us too. It says, "What's our opinion on David Johnson?" Now, all offseason, a lot of us have been on board with David Johnson just because of his value. Not so much, the whole 2,000-yard David Johnson. It's that you could get him in the 5th round as your running back 3, and the risk was a lot less. Do we still feel that way about David Johnson? Are you looking at maybe a Duke Johnson later? Ethan, you can start.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm kind of out on David Johnson this year. I'll be honest. One, he doesn't really fit my draft strategy. I usually go RB pretty heavy, and then I'm looking at wide receivers in the 4th, 5th, 6th round. So it's pretty rare that I take him. I haven't taken him in any redraft leagues yet. I'm not totally convinced that this last year we didn't see kind of the end for David Johnson. I hope that isn't the case. I always say I want players to succeed. I want them to stay healthy, but you also have to be practical with some of this. He's getting up there in age. The explosiveness was just completely gone last season, especially after he got hurt. Maybe he can come back to that, but for me, I'd much rather just take a flyer on Duke Johnson at the end and just know that, he's going to have a bit of a role and potentially has the most upside if he were to ever get the carries that I feel like he's earned given the production that he's had with what he's done so far. So I'm not in on David Johnson. If you're really wanting a second running back or a third running back and you can get him in the late 4th, early 5th, then I'm okay with it, but I don't love it.
Awesome. Our boy Joe 102294. I'm guessing maybe his birthday. I'm guessing. 10/22/94. That's what I'm going for. He says, "Here's for 5 subscriptions to Patreon. Thank you for everything." And threw out a $25 donation. That is 5 people to join the $5 tier. If you go to patreon.com, sign up for the $5 tier, the first 5 people that do it, I will refund it for you, and you'll get a month of bonus content on Joe. So thank you very much for that donation, Joe. Head over to patreon.com, sign up for the rookie tier, $5 a month, gets you the audio podcast, articles, all other kinds of things. So appreciate you. Everybody tell Joe thank you for that also.
We got more too. Our boy Isaiah out there in the chat throwing out a donation. Thanks so much, Isaiah. Bake Sale, Robinson, McLaurin, Chubb, Ekeler, J. Smooth, Ingram, Singletary, Gallup, Breida, Emmanuel Sanders, Lindsey, Fitzgerald. Jake, that team is for you. Grade it.
I really like that team because we talked about Chubb and Ekeler earlier. He's got both of them. Love Mark.
Oh, you
Ingram
love to see that.
I love to see it. You got Singletary, Gallup, Breida, Emmanuel Sanders. The wide receivers worry me just a hair.
He's got Robinson though. So
did you say Robinson?
Yeah, Robinson's second.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, Robinson, McLaurin. All right, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
I missed Robinson's name. You're good. I love it. I love that team, 100%.
What's the team name? What's the team name though?
Yeah,
you got to give us the team name.
Yeah, because and you didn't handwrite it, Isaiah. We talked to you on Twitter a lot. We need this handwritten and team names, but going based off of this sole question right here, I'm going to give that a solid A-. I could even bump it up if the team name is really cool. That's all I got to say about that, though.
Also, we got one question, too. I just want to throw this out there because I've seen a lot of people ask it so far about Jalen Reagor. Don't drop him. Hold on to him for right now. When you can put him on the IR, put him on the IR. Don't get rid of him just yet because, Ethan, They said 4 weeks. I know you shot me a message earlier. We're not dropping him, right? We got to hold him for right now.
You got to hold him, especially if you've already drafted him. You spent the capital. There's no reason he could potentially come back and play. The good thing is that his speed, which is the thing that I think is his best weapon, his speed and his route running is not going to be affected. It's just his shoulder. So no, you cannot drop him.
Perfect.
All right, go ahead and do the next couple questions, Kyle. Somebody asked me in our viewer league to roast the team that I'm in that league. So I'll definitely take advantage of roasting somebody in my own league.
Love it. Mr. Blair 56. If you went running back heavy and have to choose between Stephon Diggs, Marquise Brown, or Jarvis Landry as your wide receiver 2, who would you take and why? Mr. Blair, appreciate that donation. Thanks for tossing that out. Me personally, I'll still go with Jarvis Landry as my wide receiver 2, especially if it's a half PPR or PPR league.
Yeah, we're going to disagree here. I'm actually going to go with Stephon Diggs. Okay. I like what John Brown did last year as the wide receiver 1 in that offense. I know we're not a huge fan, or at least I'm not a huge fan of Josh Allen as a thrower, but we've seen him improve both seasons. He's been in the league. So to me, I want the true number 1 for the team first, and Jarvis Landry is right there. And most of the time I've found that you can wait a little bit on Landry and still pick him up later if you're really after him, maybe a trade up if you really want to get him. But to me, I'm going to go with Diggs, and then Landry is a close second, and then Marquise Brown. To me, that's a little bit of risk for me. We haven't seen him really be an alpha yet. He's shown flashes, but again, I'd like to see a little bit more. If you're going RB heavy to start the draft, you're going to want a little bit more stability at that wide receiver 2. You just want them to get you by week to week. So Diggs, Landry, they're going to get you that.
JQ also has a question for us. JQ, appreciate the donation. Rank these at 1.09 and 2.02 in a PPR. We've got Mixon, Sanders, Drake, Chubb, Jacobs, and Ekeler. Me personally, I've got Mixon and Jacobs highest, and then I've got Ekeler after that, and then Chubb, Sanders, Drake.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to lean the pass catchers a little bit more. I know you're a Mixon fan. I'm just not 100% on board yet. I'm going to go with Chubb first, then Ekeler, then Sanders. Mixon is kind of right there, and then Drake and Jacobs last. I want the guys that are catching the most balls. So catching the most balls, that's not going to sound great, but that's where I go. A little bit different, but you're not going to go wrong if you go with 2 of those guys. They're all pretty well they're pretty well established pass catchers and runners. So
yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. It's a win-win all the way around. The 3 highest that I have ranked are going to be Chubb, Jacobs, and Ekeler. Does that mean that I'm off Drake, Sanders, and Mixon? No, I would just lean towards those first 3. Also, he also asked about Evans, OBJ, DJ Moore, Juju, Thielen, Kupp, and Ridley. So out of Mike Evans, Odell Beckham, DJ Moore, Juju, Thielen, Kupp, and Ridley, who are the ones on the top of your list?
4.02. At the 4.02.
In the 4th round, yeah.
That's OBJ for me.
See, it's DJ Moore for me, and it's not really close.
See, I'm torn. Right now, I have to agree that it's Odell Beckham just for the 4th round potential that you could see with Odell Beckham. It kind of depends where you went the first 3 rounds. Is Odell your number 2? Is he your number 1? That kind of plays a little bit of a factor. But right now, I'd probably have to go Odell Beckham, but it's super close.
All right, we got one more team that we got to review before, Jake, we review yours. So Abraham says, rate my team, please. Dak, C-Mac, Todd Gurley, Kenny Galladay, Cooper Kupp, Hunter Henry, Devontae Parker, Jamal Williams, Blake Jarwin. I like the team outside of Jamal Williams and Blake Jarwin. If those are guys that you're playing in your flex, if this is like a deeper league with multiple flex and you're trying to play them there, that's concerning. If they're just on your bench, you got to look for some guys with more upside to stash on your bench. Those are the guys that I want to stash throughout the season. The Jamal Williams and the Blake Jarwin picks just don't have enough upside for me. So you've got a great starting roster, but The bench is just it goes from like an A- in your starters all the way down to like a D on your bench for me.
You got D on your bench.
I agree with what Kyle said. I do like the starters here. I'm not a huge fan of Hunter Henry this year just because I like other tight ends that go around where he's going. But again, that's not a knock on Henry. It's just my personal preference for a few other players in just that just go around him. I just never seem to want to pick Hunter Henry. Jamal Williams shouldn't be on any rosters this year. When they drafted AJ Dillon, he is at a minimum the number 2. Jamal Williams is going to be your third running back. There's really no reason for him to be on a roster, especially when you've got such a small bench. So no Jamal Williams. I don't mind the Blake Jarwin pick. I know that Kyle or Swag Rich, whoever I'm talking to right now, I think the sunglasses are up, so it must be Kyle. Kyle is not a fan of Blake Jarwin. Swag Rich, obviously not a fan of Blake Jarwin, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, and I don't hate it either. I mean, I would rather have somebody like the likes of a Naheem Hines over a Jamal Williams late in drafts. I would rather take a stab there.
All right, let's hear it, Jake. Who's the roster that we're roasting?
They changed all their names in the league, so I had to send a message and ask who it is because I don't know by the team names now. So
all right, Harrison's throwing out a donation. Harrison, appreciate you, my man. You guys helped me win my league last year with all your advice, so thank you. This year I got CMC, Mixon, Ekeler, OBJ, Bobby Trees, Hurst, and Deck. You think I'm bringing home the trophy this year in a PPR? Yeah.
I would hope so.
Clean off the shelf
right now. A late August answer is yes, because I love every bit of that team right there, 100%.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't screw it up, Harrison. Don't screw it up.
Hunter Stewart throws out a donation as well. Thank you, Hunter. Draft coming up next week. Kenyon Drake or Austin Ekeler in standard. This is a little bit tougher for me because it's standard now.
In standard, I probably lean a little bit more towards Kenyon Drake.
I probably do as well, and I don't like it. Hunter, first off, you need to contact your commissioner and tell them to change this to half PPR.
Okay. Yes. Rule number 1. What do you think, Ethan? Are you going Drake or Ekeler?
I'm going to go with Drake in standard. It sucks. I'm the biggest Ekeler stan, I feel like, on the show, and I'm just not – I don't love him in standard.
I just don't. I don't love it either. I mean, I don't. Is he going to have value? Yeah, he probably still a solid running back too. It's just the guy's going to be more involved in the passing game than the running game. You got Justin Jackson, Joshua Kelly. I mean, he just loses so much value because of it. What about what's our take on Dalvin Cook and his injuries in the past from thief fishing? How worried are you, Ethan? We've kind of talked about Dalvin Cook in the past, and I'm pretty sure that you talked about Dalvin Cook in the past on one of our shows too, because we brought you in on it. But since they hadn't seen that episode, what's your take on Dalvin Cook here just for this season, 2020?
I think he's fine this season. I worry a little bit more. I feel if anyone basically any of the top 7 or 8 running backs, you're assuming the most risk with Cook given his injury history. We know that injury history is the best predictor we have of future injuries. So if they've been hurt before, they're more likely to get hurt in the future. For me, I'm not taking him before like Alvin Kamara or Zeke. But I think you have to, based on his talent, take him in the top 12. I mean, easily in the top 12 of all, pretty much any type of league, standard, PPR. He has to go there. That's just where the value is. But just know that you're assuming the most risk when you take Dalvin Cook if you're taking one of those top 6 running backs.
Yep, absolutely. Kellis Talks says, type of players I should keep in keeper leagues. I mean, I'm not. This isn't meant to be sarcastic, but the best ones. It's hard because the way I always really look at keeper leagues is I try to find out who the other teams in that league are keeping. If I know that they're all keeping all the running backs, I'm going to have to lean towards keeping my running back so I have somebody. If I have an early draft pick and there's a couple studs that are going to be sitting there and I have a solid wide receiver I want to keep, then I'll consider it. But I kind of have to play around with what's going to be available when I actually start to draft, because that's what's going to be, the ultimate tell of who I should keep.
All right. So we've got 661 of you fine people watching right now, but we only have 292 likes. So, Jake, would I be remiss to tell the people that once we get to 500 likes, you're going to let it flow?
I'll do that.
500 likes, we're going to let it flow, people. So hit that like button.
And we also have to give away a draft guide. So we still have actually 6 draft guides to give away. So you don't want to leave because of that. Swag,
I say we
Kyle,
give away
whoever you
draft
are.
guides at 600 likes.
Do what?
Give draft guides away at 600 likes.
All right, 600 likes. We'll start giving away all the draft guides.
People got to earn it tonight. Okay,
perfect.
Swag Rich is making you earn it. Matthew Rennie, he's still now a donation as well. Matthew, appreciate it. Kamara, Mixon, Galladay, Bobby Trees, Singletary, Hollywood Brown, Hurst, Jonnu Smith, Dak, White, Murray, Reagor, grade. Whole lot of upside on that team. That is a solid A- for me.
I don't hate it either. I mean, you got youth, you got the upside, you got the safety of a Bobby Trees, you got Galladay, Kamara. I mean, yeah, that's a solid A- also. I mean, when you guys start leaving these teams that you want us to review, though, start putting the team names in there so we can have some fun. I mean, me and Ethan are all about roasting some people in their teams, but we got to have team names. Like the Wandspecker Cowboys from this past weekend. Remember that? The
Wandspecker Cowboys.
Yeah, nobody's
somebody
say that's a place in Germany.
Somebody said it was a place in Germany, which makes even less sense. But I was convinced that it was from like some small town in Texas, because that's right, like a place in Texas.
And then a reminder also, we had a donation earlier for 5 rookie tier members on Patreon. That came from Joe. So the first 5 people that sign up tonight for the rookie tier of Patreon are going to get reimbursed for a month worth of information. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you to Joe for that. That was just a reminder.
All right. We've got another donation to review a team. Steve Alvarez, appreciate your dono, brother. Dak is the quarterback. Chubb and Jacobs are his running backs. Kenny G, Chark, David Johnson at the flex, Hurst, the Niners D, and then bench is Singletary, Devontae Parker, Duke, Reagor. That is a solid A for me.
I mean, I don't know how I could go against it. You got the solid wide receiver 1 with Kenny G. And then for your wide receiver 2s, you got DJ Chark and Devontae Parker. So yeah. I don't hate it. There's a little bit of risk there. I like how you have Parker as your number 3, because as of right now, he's probably going to be the highest targeted wide receiver in that offense. So he may actually, it would not surprise me if Devontae Parker is started more weeks than DJ Chark. It wouldn't surprise me here this year. But yeah, overall, solid A-. I need a team name, though, to give you any higher.
Kevin Stewart says, thanks, guys. Great content, great advice. Appreciate it, Kevin. Thanks for that donation. Tom Robbins in a standard league at pick number 22. He's facing Galladay or Ekeler. The league is only start 2 running backs maximum. And if I go wide receiver, is David Johnson or Fournette good enough for round 3? Well, I guess it depends on who you have in round 1. But at pick 22 in a standard league, I've got to go Galladay over Ekeler. I want to go Ekeler there, but if it's not half PPR or PPR, I can't do it.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that whatsoever.
Yeah, I'll have something to say, but I feel like Galladay is like one of the few wide receivers that could score 12 plus touchdowns through the air. So I love him in standard. So especially, so I would probably take
score on the ground.
I don't know, Jake. How many could he score on the ground?
I don't know. It's a question that's plagued mankind for years.
Maybe 1, 2. Could we cop him at 2?
Yeah, maybe. Possibly. I mean, I think the
I don't think they give him any carries. I don't think they've ever given him a carry. So it's probably 0.
Yeah, I haven't even Googled that stat, but I don't know if he's ever gotten a carry.
I don't think he has. And you don't need to when you're like 6'5" and just jump over everybody. It's cool. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't forget, people. 500 likes to let it flow. Okay, we're only at 419 right now. Hit that like button so we can let it flow. Derek Minzy, 2020 sucks. I agree with you. Trying to throw out positive vibes. Give away a draft guide on me. You guys can pick. Derek, appreciate the love you're showing for Headliner Nation. Everyone throw out some GGs in the chat for Derek. We're going with GGs tonight.
Yeah.
We're going with Kyle's been playing way too many video games.
Gerald Gulp throwing out a donation as well. Appreciate you, Gerald. And a 10-man PPR. Russell Wilson, Zeke and Aaron Jones. Who's Lickety? Lickety?
Lickety. Lickety split.
If you have anybody on your roster named Lickety, you should probably not win fantasy football.
Who would? Let's just think for a second.
I know it's Lockett.
Lockett. Okay. There we go.
It's gotta be Lockett.
Well, let's go with Lockett. Diggs, Woods, Landry, Kittle, Waller. What do you all think?
I mean, Lickety just puts it over the top for me. I mean, because then you can just tell. Never mind, I can't say that. I was gonna say you can tell all your league mates to Lickety the what if you wanted to. But I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Aaron Jones this year. I don't love that. I like the solid wide receivers you have with Diggs, Woods, Landry, and Lockett. Don't hate that. Kittle and Waller. I mean, overall, it's great. I'm just not sold on Aaron Jones. He's your number 2, which is better, but that's the only part of it that I really don't care for.
I'm going with a B just because I like Woods, but I think if you're relying on him to be your high upside wide receiver 1, it's a little risky. I think he's going to be safe, but I don't know if he's necessarily going to be high upside all season long because it's the touchdowns that really propel him up to that high upside type of player. So that's the one reason I'm a little hesitant on that. And with the guys that you have around it, it's a little boom or bust. So for me, I'm looking at a B-ish on that one. I don't think it's bad, but I think you'll have to have some things go right for you.
I think that he's got some good things going here, but I would say that if I had Kittle, I wouldn't have drafted Waller. I would have probably gone with another wide receiver there. Maybe you can flip Waller for a wide receiver. That gives you a little bit more depth there to kind of play around with matchups with Diggs and Woods as your wide receivers. And I guess Lickety Lockett.
Lickety
Lockett. That's right. He's going to be like, no, it's Lickety. That's Cooper Kupp's nickname. I don't know. But I'm not a huge fan of Aaron Jones this year, but I also don't hate him as your running back too. Overall, pretty good squad. I'd probably be looking to move Waller just because I have Kittle, and that's just kind of a luxury, unless you have to start both tight ends.
Seclane says no idea why the Eagles players have lower body injuries. They need to quit nuck checking in the bathrooms. Also, Kyle, I love you. I need that Warzone 1 kill gameplays. Thanks so much, Seclane, for throwing out that donation.
Let's see here. What about? I had another question up here, and it's going so fast.
500
It had a great team name. But while I'm looking for it, how about we talk about Le'Veon Bell getting second team reps? Is that because Le'Veon Bell, or is that because Adam Gase is stupid? Or is that because they're trying to give Le'Veon Bell extra touches in camp, which he really doesn't need?
I think he's trying to prove some sort of stupid. Is he getting the 1s and the 2s both, or is he just on the 2s right now? Because if he's just on the 2s, I feel like Gase is just being an idiot trying to make a point that doesn't need to be made.
I think Gase is an idiot regardless.
That's true.
Ethan, what's your doctor?
I think the point is that Gase is an idiot, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I think it's stupid to pick fights with your best players. Your team's pretty bad already. Why would you try to make it any worse by proving a point? That's just so dumb to me. I hate it when coaches try to sabotage their own squads just to prove a point. Yeah. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But hey, I'm not in charge of a team right now, so maybe I don't know anything.
But maybe you should be, Ethan.
Maybe I should be.
Maybe the 3 of us all should be. Maybe in Madden or something, but maybe not so much in real life. But we could probably wing it. We can't do any worse than Bill O'Brien and Adam Gase. I'm sorry, we can't. It's just not going to happen.
Probably true.
we can't screw it up any worse. See our boys.
If we were running the Texans, they'd still have DeAndre Hopkins at least, or they would have gotten a better package for it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. See our boy Zev out there. Zev, what's going on? Zev's always in the chat section. What about? All right, Curtis Lowen. Team name is the Big Ballers. Get ready, Ethan.
I'm ready.
Starters at quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Running backs, CMC and Miles Sanders. Wide receivers, Juju and Amari Cooper. His flex spot, Joe Mixon. Tight end, Noah Fant. To me, the name of Big Ballers could be a little...
You know what ruined that?
LeVar Ball?
Yeah, the Ball family ruined Big Ballers as even a name, which is a shame because it is great. But the team is good. I like the team.
I like the team. Now, I mean, if you had Zach Ertz, you could say my Big Ballers Ertz. Then all of a sudden it's a little bit funnier, or Big Ballers and Chubb. You know what I mean? Just something like that goes a little bit better together.
Instead
to
of
me,
Big Ballers, why don't we start saying Busty Ballers?
Okay, if that's what you would like, we could.
That's why Kyle's standing today.
Yeah, that's why he can't sit today, right? Yeah.
He can't sit because he already busted his.
We
ballers.
did get a question in the chat that absolutely needs to be answered because Jaden has come to the correct place because he's asking me and not Jake, his father, who he should draft. And it's definitely, are you doing a draft with him?
Maybe, but I don't know if I want you to tell him anything.
Okay. He's asking if he goes with Chubb or Mahomes. You take Chubb because then he has to sit there and watch your team win and him go off all season long, knowing that he didn't get a chance to draft him. Hit him where
So you're helping my son beat me in a league.
Of course. He's obviously come to the right place.
Wow. I see how it is.
Hamburger Helper says thoughts on my team name. Show me my TDs or show me your TDs. That's always a classic. Always a classic.
It's a classic. I mean, did anybody enjoy the video on Saturday where me and Ethan referred to it as show me your EAmes? Because, I mean, I think that had a good little play on words also.
Hey, show me your teams.
Yeah, that's right. People loved it. I mean, people have been showing us teams ever since.
I think that was probably, I won't say it's the most polarizing video, but there were definitely some people hating on the video, which is
I cried. I was laughing so hard, I was crying.
How are we only at 459 likes? We have 705 people watching right now. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're not hitting that like button to see the best several minutes in fantasy football entertainment, you're sorely missing out. Everybody drop a hashtag, let it flow in the chat, because we got to get to 500 likes. In the meantime, Jamie's throwing out a donation in a half PPR, best flex, James White, Jordan Howard, Boston Scott, Dobbins, Deshaun Jackson, Tyler Boyd, Jared Cook, team name, Damage Incorporated. It's James White and half PPR 100% for me.
Being that it's a PPR league involved, yeah. James White's probably the best option for a flex play there. I don't hate Jordan Howard, just not much of a PPR guy. Boston Scott, not if Miles Sanders is good. Dobbins, maybe in 2021. Deshaun Jackson has never been a PPR guy. Tyler Boyd, I don't dislike. I mean, there may be weeks where I think Tyler Boyd may be the choice, but James White's who I got there. Probably top of the list.
Gerald Gulp throws out another donation. Gerald, appreciate
Ethan's like, I want to answer. Let Ethan.
Bullcrap, Kyle.
I'm forgetting that there's a third person
for me
here
to be
tonight.
here. Then you
I'm forgetting there's somebody in between Jake and I now. Normally it's just him and I face.
I gotta kick Kyle out of here. He shows me
inserted
no respect.
yourself in the middle.
I got no respect for Swag Rich or Kyle tonight. Just skipping my turn.
To
which I
Ethan,
patiently
what's your
waited
thoughts?
for.
Ethan, give us your thoughts.
I'm a fan of Tyler Boyd. I think that Tyler Boyd is going to be a stud. Again, he's got an upgraded quarterback with Big Balls Joe Burrow, who I'm now referring as Big Balls because you got to have some huge cojones to take the Bengals to the Super Bowl. But no, I'm a fan of Joe Burrow. I think Tyler Boyd is going to be his go-to guy because I think he's going to know that he can rely on Tyler Boyd. So I'm going to go with Tyler Boyd. James White is a close second. We can assume that Cam Newton, if fully healthy, is not going to revert back to Superman Cam Newton and call his own number first. And for that reason, I don't 100% just trust James White to start the year because I don't know how this Cam Newton experience is going to play out. I don't know if he's going to use James White in a way that, Tom Brady, check down Tom. I don't know if it's going to be the same. So I'm waiting and seeing. I'm going to go with Boyd to start the year.
All right, we got a few questions that we got to get to real quick before we let it flow. Gerald Gulp throws out another donation and an extra 5 for getting to my question. And he did mean lock it, not lickety. LOL. Appreciate it, you all. Keep doing your thing. Gerald, appreciate your support, man. Christian Miller, 12-man full PPR with the 11th pick. He's got Matt Ryan, Jacobs, Drake, Cooper, Cup. That's two.
I think it's Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper,
and
Cooper Cup. Hurst, Scary Terry, Swift Judy, James White, Jordan Howard, CeeDee Lamb. What's the grade on this team? For me, I'm giving you a solid B+.
Yeah, I'm going B+ too.
I mean, you have Amari Cooper as your number one wide receiver. And to me, I just can't do that. I'm going to be a little bit.
He has Scary
lower.
Terry as his number one wide receiver.
It depends. He listed Cooper first. So don't argue with me, Ethan, okay? I'm going by the way that he typed it, okay? We didn't see it handwritten, so I couldn't tell, all right? But the fact that you got Amari Cooper, I got to give you a B on it also.
Actually, I'm degrading you to a B- because you didn't put your team name in.
It's a full grade drop by not including team names.
No, I have him at a B+. He goes to a B-. That's like 6 percentage points max.
Okay, perfect.
Apple Juice throws out a donation as well in a
Apple
PPR. What can I expect from CEH and Juju? Personally, for me, CEH has some running back one upside, but in that low end range, he's going to hit that at some points this year. Is he an overall running back one for me? It's going to be very close there at the back end. I expect some big things, but I also expect some up and down performances. And Juju, I think he bounces back this year. Is he going to be a locked in stone wide receiver one every single week? I don't necessarily think that because they have a really good defense. They're probably going to run quite a bit this year, but I definitely think he has the upside to finish anywhere in that 11 to 14 range for wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, CEH, I love the talent. I love the landing spot. Just can't pay a first-round draft grade or a draft price for him. Can't do it. Juju, Big Ben, seems to be healthy. I don't know if we've really seen him put a lot of torque on that elbow yet, but everything we see seems healthy. And if he is good, then I'm still buying Juju. Ethan, do you want to answer before Kyle cuts you off?
Yeah, I better. No, I don't. I don't hate any. I don't hate either one of them. I'm a Steelers fan, so I'm a little biased. Juju burnt me bad last year, but I don't think it was Juju's fault. I do think if you lose your quarterback and then you're starting Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges, like you're probably not going to have a good year. Like, I'm sorry. Like, even as a Steelers fan, it was a miracle that we were even in playoff contention at that point. So I think Juju does get a little bit of a bounce back. I like the fact that they added Chase Claypool. I think they can put him on the outside and kind of shift Juju in to a spot that I think he's a little bit more comfortable in. So I don't hate Juju. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'm a little bit higher on than maybe Kyle. I think he's pretty safely in the back end of the RB1s. Just from a pure volume perspective, he doesn't really have any competition. He's on a great offense. I think they're going to use him. So I don't expect Clyde Edwards-Helaire to let you down by any stretch. I think his floor is basically back end RB1.
All right, so we got to get through these because we got to let it flow. So, gentlemen, I'm going to say the roster, and I want your letter grade. Cloak and Dagger has Deshaun Watson, CMC, Jacobs, Hopkins, Metcalf, Diggs, Higbee, and a 12-team PPR. What's your grade on that?
Watson, CMC, Jacobs, Hopkins, Metcalf, Diggs, Higbee. There's no team name. Once again, no team name, Ethan, so we got to drop it to 6 percentage points. He's going to get himself a solid B for that.
Yeah, I'd agree. No team name. I'm going to go with a B, but he is real close to that A- if he'd just drop that team name in there.
Yeah, no, overall the team isn't bad.
I'm also going to go with a B-. Big Taz, 34, says his team name is black and yellow. Rate my team, please. Tom Brady, Tannehill, Connor, Barkley, Green, Evans, Metcalf, Ertz, and then Howard, Carson. His defense, Pats. He's got Ben Mack.
I'm guessing it's Big Ben and Marlon Mack.
Okay. Big Ben, Marlon Mack, Michelle, and Kirk. I'm going to assume this is probably a super flex league. If it's a super flex league, this looks to me like this is more of like a 14-team type league. Hopefully that's the case. If this is a 12-team league, I think you're going to be struggling. This is more of a B-, C+ for me. If this is a 14-team league, I'll bump it up to like a B+. Yeah,
and it's got to be super flex too because of the fact that you have Brady and Tannehill. I just couldn't do that. Connor and Barkley, okay. You got AJ Green. No, I mean, I'm not loving the AJ Green and the James Conner both in the starting lineup. On the bench, why do we have another quarterback if it's not super flex? So that is the question. Mac, Michelle, I don't know if I'd want either one of those guys right now. I mean, like you said, it kind of depends on what type of team it is. I'm also had a helmet on for no apparent reason for the last 3 minutes, so I'm starting to lose consciousness. But otherwise, I mean...
I've been trying to hurry it up.
I know, without knowing the type of league it is, it could anywhere be from a B- to a D+.
Ethan?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this squad. I'll be totally honest. I'm probably going to give it a C+. There's just not enough meat on the bone. You got Barkley, but I don't feel like I love either quarterback. Connor, I'm not a big fan of. Green, Evans. I'm not going to like a team that has AJ Green on it this year. I'm sorry. I'm just not a fan. Metcalf, you're looking at upside there. Ertz, Howard, Carson. I like Carson this year actually, but yeah, for the most part, I'm going to go with like a C+.
All right, for this question, give me a one-sentence answer from Evan Harnhart. How do you guys think N'Keal Harry will mesh with Cam this season? Ethan, you first. One sentence.
N'Keal Harry can't separate, and Cam can't throw in tight windows, so not well.
Yeah.
Jake.
He stole it. He can't separate. He looks slow. He looks like he's running in mud. I don't think he's going to be very successful. Give me Mohamed Sanu a little bit later instead.
Boom. I agree with both of those takes. Mike Wazowski says for a donation as well, team name is Hazard. He's got Jimmy G, Barkley, Sanders, Woods, Robinson, Kittle, and Zeke. That's an A- for me. Ethan.
B+.
Jake.
Did you say A+?
B+.
Oh, B+. Yeah,
I don't give A pluses.
I didn't think so. I was ready to smack you. Being that he says at the end, and Zeke, that's an A for me. Because Zeke is like the afterthought.
Got it. There you go, Mike. Appreciate that donation. Giuseppe in the chat. Appreciate your donation. Giuseppe, hey guys, in a full PPR, my wide receivers are Hopkins, Galladay, Kupp, Boyd, Deonte Johnson, and Reagor. Should I shop any of them before the start of the season? Thanks. Unless you're awful at the running back position, keep all those guys.
Yeah. It just depends. If you don't need to shop them, then I wouldn't. I mean, no. I keep them unless you're super, super thin at running back. But even if you are... What do you got? You got Deonte Johnson, who's been nursing some injuries. You got Jalen Reagor nursing injuries. You got Cooper Kupp nursing an injury. I mean, you got a lot of guys, but you don't want to sell at a low value either.
I would say Deonte Johnson's the only name that really sticks out to me, and I think it's just because you're paying a price like you're paying a price that he is going to be the wide receiver 1 right now in startups, and I just don't know if that's going to be the case.
All right, we have a one-word answer on this. Tony Piper wants to know, Goff versus Lock come week 14, who will be his starter? Ethan?
Goff.
Jake?
I don't know who they play.
That's a long way out for me.
To me, that matters. I like Drew Lock, but I don't know who they play that week. But I mean, I think Goff may be a little bit safer to answer right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's Lock come that point of the season. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have 546 likes, which means it is time for the best piece of entertainment that you will find anywhere in the fantasy football industry. We are going to let it flow. Do not forget, we have a bunch of draft guides to give away still, but we are not going to be giving them away until 600 likes. So if you haven't hit that like button yet, hit the like button and start spamming all of those questions. Only type it once. Don't type it back to back to back to back to back to back, because YouTube will toss you out the window and won't let you come back in. Jake has something to say real quick.
Do not put in here now for me to rate teams, because there's no way when this chat is going through that I'm going to be able to read all of them and give you an honest answer. Give us some single questions here, and I'll rapid fire until I about pass out.
Yes. Are you ready? Start tossing those questions in. Not rate your team yet. We'll get back to that later on. Jake, are you ready to go?
Give it to me, Swag Rich.
Give it to me, Swag Rich. Okay. All right. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to let it flow. And 3, 2, 1, let it flow.
Is Jonathan Taylor at the 303 too much of a reach? Yeah, that's still a little bit too early for me. Oh my gosh, people are still drafting Carlos Hyde. James Young, depending on how deep the league is, it's not that bad. Juju or Ridley? Right now, I still got Juju. Let it flow. Beck Ev, we're certainly trying. Melvin Gordon versus Philip Lindsay. Don't know the question, but I'll take Lindsay. He's a little bit cheaper, a little bit later on. Waller versus Landry in the flex. I'll always take the wide receiver. Give me Landry, CMC, or Saquon in standard. Give me Saquon, but they're both still neck and neck. What about Henry or Hill? I'm guessing you mean Derrick Henry or Tyreek Hill. I'm going Derrick Henry. Cook, Hilaire, Henry. 6th pick, half PPR. I'm going with Derrick Henry there still. Kareem Hunt worth a handcuff price? Kind of, but he's somebody who has weekly flex value anyway, so he's really not just a handcuff. You can still use him. Ruggs or Lamb in Dynasty. I'm still going with Lamb. Chubb, Jacobs, Ekeler, or Mixon in a full PPR. Still got Ekeler, but only by a hair in full PPR. Godwin or Hopkins, give me Godwin. Should you drop Tyler Higbee? It depends. Who are you picking up? Because I don't know if there's going to be anybody better than him on the waiver wire. Next 3 TDs after Kittle, Kelly, Ertz. I'm guessing you mean tight ends. It's going to be Mark Andrews. What about Drake or Sanders? If I had to choose just one right now, it's Kenyon Drake, but it's only by a hair. How concerning is Sanders and Mixon's injuries? Right now, I'm not overly concerned about it. What about Hopkins or Godwin? Still got Godwin. Chubb or Drake? Give me Chubb. Give me Chubb. I just told somebody on the internet.
Give me Chubb.
4th pick, Cook, Kamara, or CEH? Going Kamara all the way. Like the upside of Benny Snell? Not really. Not unless it's a super deep league. I'd almost rather have Anthony McFarland if it's Dynasty. B+ on the chalk grade. I don't know what one that was. Thoughts on Joshua Kelly? I like Joshua Kelly. I think he has a chance to win the early down work there with the Chargers. Miles Sanders injury question mark? Yeah, pay attention to it because we're still waiting for more information. Is DeAndre Swift any good? Yes, he is very good at football. Should he have gone somewhere besides the Lions? Probably would have been better, but sorry, Kyle, it's the Lions. Is Kenyon Drake still a good RB2 in standard? Yes, you could do a whole lot worse, I'm sure. Thielen, Woods, or Ridley, rank them. Ranking right now, I'll have Woods, Ridley, and then Thielen. Chances of Tyreek Hill finishing as a top 3 standard scoring wide receiver. I would not surprise me one bit. I'll put pretty good odds on that. DeAndre Swift, yep, he's still good. White versus Jones. Who is that? Who's versus Jones? I don't know. Aaron Jones? If it's Aaron Jones or James White, I'll still go Aaron Jones there. He's not that far down the list. Julio or Hopkins? Give me Julio. White or Hunt in a full PPR? I think Hunt is safer. White has, a higher upside, possibly just for the full PPR. But me, I'm going with Hunt. Doyle or Higbee? Give me Higbee. Godwin or Galladay? Give me Galladay. Montgomery or Connor in the 5th round? Give me Connor right now. Lazard or Cole Beasley? Still got Lazard a hair higher than the Beasles. Best of the rookie running backs besides CEH. Got to be Jonathan Taylor. Mark Ingram or Kenyon Drake? Kenyon Drake's still a lot higher for me there, but I do love Mark Ingram. How to draft with 6-point passing touchdowns? Honestly, I don't pay much attention to it because I'm still going to try to draft a quarterback a little bit later. Gurley or CEH? I have them back-to-back in the rankings right now. CEH is just ahead of Gurley. Vaughn or Hines? Give me Hines. Is Kyler a solid QB1? I would think so, especially with that rushing upside. Half PPR, CEH or Jacobs? Still got Jacobs higher. Mecole Hardman, breakout year? Yeah, I think it could be coming if he can get some more targets. I had a video with him calling him a must-have. Go check it out. Hoobie or TJ Hawk? Pretty sure that's supposed to be Higbee, but I'm still going to go with Higbee there by a hair. AJ Dillon, we're stashing in PPR. He'll have limited value in PPR, but I would still stash him on the bottom of a bench if you can. Chubb or CEH? Still Chubb. Cooper or Sutton? Man, I do not like Amari Cooper, but I'd still have to give him the ever so small of an edge there. Prescott or Wilson? Give me Dak. Kamara or Henry? Give me Kamara. Ingram or Bell? I'm not choosing Bell. It's going to be Ingram. Kyler Murray or Deshaun Watson? Give me Kyler Murray. DJ Moore and A.J. Brown as starters? Sure, why not? Amari Cooper or Allen Robinson? I'm going Allen Robinson. Vaughn or Frank Gore? Man, neither if that's a choice, but I'll go with Vaughn and just cross my fingers, I guess. Kelsey or Kittle? Right now, I have Kelsey number 1 still. Cooper or Sutton? Talked about that one. Jared Cook or Noah Fant? Give me Jared Cook. Is Gurley a RB2 in standard leagues? Yeah, probably. PPR, Hunt or Singletary? It depends. If this is your flex, I'm going to go with Singletary. No Cooper Pooper. That's right, Adori. No Cooper Pooper. Mostert or Ingram? Give me Ingram. Cooper or McLaurin? Give me McLaurin. Minshew or Burrow this year? Man, I love me some Gardner Minshew. He's my spirit animal. I'm going to go with Minshew by a hair. Bell or Gordon? Give me Gordon, even though I don't love either. The Honey Badger or Jonathan Abram? I'll always pick the Honey Badger because he don't give a... You know what I'm talking about. Kyle or Ethan? Kyle's not here right now. Only Ethan because I see Swag Rich, so I'll go with Ethan since it's not Kyle right now. Woods or Cup? Give me Woods right now with the potential Cup injury. What about how do you like Mixon and Sanders in the first and second round? I love it. Whew.
Landry or Taylor. I don't know who in the world Taylor is, so it's a bad start to this. David Johnson or Todd Gurley. We're going with David Johnson. Lockett or A.J. Brown. We'll go A.J. Brown. Is Henry Ruggs a wide receiver 2 potentially? Not this year. 6 pick and a 10-team PPR. I don't know what that means. I don't mind that pick. Hopefully you can get Henry. Mixon or Sanders? Mixon. Ryan or Murray? Going to go with Murray. Jacobs or Mixon? Mixon. Bro, how does my question get skipped every time? I don't know, Sophie. If you would have asked it this time, it would have been red. Montgomery or Mostart? Start right now. Montgomery maybe in a few weeks. Kmet or Graham? Graham for me. Fant or Jarwin? Thanks, gentlemen. Fant. Hayden Hurst, top 5 tight end this year. Probably not that high. Moore or Cup? Cup. Woods or Lockett? Woods. Jacobs or Mixon or Drake? Mixon, Jacobs, Drake in that order. Sanders or Jacobs? Jacobs. Devontae Adams or Ekeler? Ekeler. Oh no, I'm late. Nope, you're not that late. You're here now. Full PPR. Kareem Hunt, DK Metcalf in my flex, going with DK Metcalf. Would you reach for your running back 3 or take your wide receiver 1 with a 3rd pick on standard? Going for that running back 3 in standard. Dak or Watson? Going with Dak. Jarwin or Fant? Fant. CEH or Sanders? Sanders. Preston Williams or Hardman? Going with Cole Hardman for right now. I don't really like that question. That's a tough one. Robert Woods, Keenan Allen, and Jay Edelman, good 3 wideouts. I don't mind it at all. I would rather have somebody that has a little bit more upside than Edelman, though. A.J. Brown or Juju? Juju. Trade David Johnson as my running back 4 for Evans or Terry in a PPR? If so, which one? Right now, I'm just going to hold those running backs. Don't make any moves yet. Anyone worth taking for IR spot right now? Probably not, because no one's been placed on the IR yet. What running back should I target at the 2.09 after I take Zeke at the 3rd? Basically anybody who falls there. Rank 1, 2, 3, Michael Thomas, Chubb, CEH. It's going to be, in my opinion, Chubb, then Thomas, then CEH. A.J. Brown or Juju? Juju. Pittman or Higgins? Pittman. Chubb, Jacobs, Ekeler, or Mixon in a full PPR? I've got them ranked Mixon, Jacobs, Ekeler, and Chubb. Higbee or Ebron? Higbee. Would it be okay drafting Ridley if you already owned Julio in a full PPR? I like to diverse a little bit and have somebody else, but I don't absolutely hate it. Just be prepared that maybe one week someone has a big week, the other one has a down week, and vice versa. Dobbins or Cohen? Start week 1. It's going to be Cohen for me. 6 pick and a 10-team PPR. What's an ideal start to the draft? Running back every single time. Jacobs or Chubb? It's going to be Jacobs for me. Noah Fant becomes a top 5 tight end this year? Probably not. Is Dak a top 3 quarterback? Yes. Start 3, Diggs, Ruggs, Anthony Miller, Jonathan Taylor. For me, in week 1, I'll go Taylor, Ruggs, and Diggs. Brian Edwards value, love him, stash him on the bench. Who are you guys more comfortable drafting as a wide receiver 1, McLaurin or Metcalf? Thanks for the love. It's going to be Metcalf for me. Thomas, Henry, or CEH? It is going to be Henry, then Thomas, then CEH. Ridley or DK? DK. Do you think Anthony Miller will ball out this year? Maybe not ball out, but I definitely think he'll be a lot better this year than what we've seen in the past. Ingram or Hurst? Ingram. Singletary or David Johnson? David Johnson. Mostert or Connor? Going to go with Connor. Jake or Ethan in a cage match? I think they both fight till the very end. Neither of them wins. Neither of them loses. It's a tie. It'll be like kissing your sister. Late round flyers or take a number 1 defense and a number 1 kicker. Late round flyers for me. This is beautiful. Yes, it is. Well, it's kind of sexy to me, not beautiful. Singletary or David Johnson? David Johnson. Janu or Fant? It's Jonnu Smith. Pick up Damian Harris or Brian Edwards? Brian Edwards. Or if your running backs are really crappy, then go with Harris. Kittle, DJ, or Waller? Carson. Give me Kittle and DJ. Drop Judy for Anthony Miller? No, not right now. Play it out. See what happens. How could I have you rate my drafts? Try to leave a comment. You can always do a paid comment, and then we can definitely get to it if you drop a donation. Jonnu or Fant? Thanks, guys. Jonnu. Handcuff Todd Gurley with Ito Smith. I'm going with Hill over. It's a little bit of a problem right now. Trade Dalvin Cook and Allen Robinson for Derrick Henry and Calvin Ridley.
Where did your sound go, Kyle?
We lost Swag Rich has disappeared.
Swag Rich, where is you were flowing so hard that you have no audio now.
Am I supposed to just take this?
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Now we can.
What happened there?
Did you mute yourself?
No.
Well, don't do that. Keep flowing.
It was, I was giving it too much.
Hey, you can't stop once you start. It stings.
I have to I have to stop now.
Oh, that's a real shame. AJ Dillon or Benny Snell? I'm going AJ Dillon. Juju or Woods? Juju. Bell or Metcalf? Ooh, Metcalf. I'm not a big Bell fan. Diggs or Fuller? Week 1. I'm gonna go Fuller. Take the risk. Ridley or DK? DK. I'm gonna go Ridley there. Swag Rich hanging on past his knees. I don't know what that means. Should I make my team name 2 girlies, 1 cup? No. Will OBJ have a bounce back? Maybe. Kamara, Mixon, Gurley. Great. Cool. Broke the mic. Yes, he did. Robinson in full PPR. I'm going to go Thielen, Ridley or DK. Again, Ridley. Juju or OBJ is my wide receiver 2. I'm going to go OBJ there. A little bit safer. OBJ bounce back. Yes. Whatever. Okay. Great content. Yeah, it is. The doctor letting it flow. Of course I am. This is why they hired me on here. Thank you, Swag Rich. No, thank you, Kyle, for disconnecting. Swag Rich would never do that to us. Chark, McLaurin, and DK in that order. Sure. J.K. Dobbins or Antonio Gibson. I'm going to go Dobbins. Gurley's staying healthy this year. Is he healthy right now? I don't know. Arthritis is continuous. So I'm going to say no. Higbee or Ronald Jones for the flex. Never, ever go with a tight end in your flex if you don't have to. Let's go Jones. Is Kittle still at a major risk of dislocating his shoulder again? Technically, yes. Will he do it again? Probably not. Dalvin or Zeke? I'm going to go Zeke, much safer. Why is the doc so close? Because I haven't figured my cameras out yet. Why do you have to judge? Doc to ET phoning home on the flow. Doing my best here, folks. First time doing this, didn't know it was a thing. How do you like 50 Shades of Gruden? I think that's hilarious. Mike Evans is a top 5 wide receiver in PPR? No. Doctor, I'm sneezing a lot. Do I have corona? Maybe. You should get that checked out. Herndon or Goddard? I'm going to go with Goddard here. Mike Hunt or Harry Balls? Neither one of those guys is a person, so shame on you, Jay Bretzinger. Woods, Lockett, Diggs, Landry, start 3. Geez. Let's go with Lockett, Woods, and Diggs. Matt Stafford, does he have further risk of injury to his back, or is he good to go going forward? Kraken, I answered this in the comments. Maybe you should read those. Dr. Turner, should I keep applying the cream? The trash has gone away, but it's still itchy as hell. I think you should just take the trash out. That will solve your problem. Desperate for running backs, $100. Fab. I own AP. How much should I spend on Antonio Gibson? I'm going to say minimum $10. Does this look like a rash? I can't see any photos, so no. Thank you, Dr. Ethan. You're welcome. Is Marlon Mack starting week 1? Not if Jonathan Taylor has anything to say about it. Is Danielle Hunter's injury serious? I haven't seen it. I'm going to say probably. Robinson or David Johnson or Drake and Keenan Allen? I'm going to go with Drake and Allen. LMAO, why is my question never picked? I don't know. I would have answered it if you'd asked one. I think that's really funny. Doc, you're hilarious. Of course I am. Damn phone, it's rash, not trash. Well, there's no way for us to know that. Cheerleader versus tight end? Ooh, tough. I'm going to go with the cheerleader's tight end. Fournette, Gurley, or David Johnson. I'm going to go with Fournette, then Gurley, then Johnson. Is Tate a good late round pick in a standard league? No, not really. Mark Andrews in the 4th round. I don't hate it. I traded Zeke for Lamar and Zach Ertz. Good deal. In a super flex, sure. JJ. Sorry, too many J's. Didn't want to read the rest. Which 2 do you start? Mixon, Taylor, Moss, Peterson. You named them in order. So Mixon and Taylor, obviously. Are you the one prescribing Jake's Viagra? I don't know. I'm not sure he takes it. Is drafting Chris Carson a 30th pick good or bad value? I'm going to say it's okay. Dr. Turner, you have a very nice beard. Thank you.
Is that
2 straight RBs or 3 straight RBs? Go with 3. Never have too many. Okay, a serious question. Doc, my Leonard hurts. That doesn't make any sense. Is AJ Brown's injury serious? I didn't know he was hurt. I'll be honest. I didn't see anything about that. Is drafting Chris Carson a 30th pick good or bad value? You've asked the same question twice. I've answered it twice. Yeah, sure. Oh, wait, I forgot to ask. What? You didn't finish your question. Doc, my Leonard hurts. Again, you guys are just repeating yourselves now. I'm getting a little concerned. Just bought the draft guide. Wow. Yeah, that's what you get for doing the draft guide. Dr. Turner. Always love it when people call me that. Half PPR, start James White, T.Y. Hilton, and Edelman. I'm gonna go with White and Hilton. I don't like starting two players from the same team if I can avoid it. I'm tired. Do we have to keep going? Do I just keep flowing? How does this work?
No, because your boy Swagrich is going to jump back in and let it flow again since the computer screwed us up at 600 likes. Because at 600 likes, Jake is going to pick some guys to give away draft guides to, or ladies. Excuse me very much. I apologize for that. Okay, anybody can play fantasy football. So get to 600 likes. I'm going to let it flow again because Jake's going to have to pick some people to win some draft guides. So who wants to win a draft guide, baby? Hit that like button. Let's go.
Get it. Are you flowing again or what's going on?
Yeah, I'm gonna let it flow again, but we got to be at 600 likes. Here goes two more. Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
Can we also get a round of applause for the Doc doing his first ever flow on a live stream? He didn't even know he was gonna flow.
If I had to rate it as a professor that has taught in a college environment, okay, I would say a C+, okay? Because you gave me a really good effort, okay? It was good most of the time, but there's lots of room for improvement, and I know that you can improve, so I'm going to push you a little bit with that C+. However, Ethan, I'm going to give you a little bit of extra credit. I'm going to bump that up to a B- because of the sarcastic tone you had with a couple of different people. I like that. I like you giving some sass back. It's a B-.
Yeah, that's the first B I've ever gotten, so I'm kind of ticked about that.
He's like, I went to med school and got a 4.0, and this jerk over here just gave me a B-.
That's freaking funny.
Some dude in a headband just gave me a B-. Now
All right, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna let it flow again in a minute. Jake, go ahead and pick out some winners. There's a lot of questions here we got to get to real quick.
All right, I'll get some winners. You and Ethan answer these questions.
Ethan and I are going to do that. Corey throws out a $5 donation. Corey, appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much. Dylan Taylor throws out a donation and a 10-team full PPR. My 3 backs are Saquon, James Conner, and JT. But I do have Adams, Tyreek, Allen Robinson at wide receiver. Do you think my backs will be an issue? With that wide receiver core, I am good with your running backs. What do you think, Ethan?
Yeah, I'm good with them too.
Charlie Handsome throws out a donation. Appreciate you, Charlie. 12-man PPR league. QB is Kyler Murray. Wide receiver is Tyreek Hill and DJ Moore. Running backs, Kenyon Drake and David Johnson. Tight end is Hayden Hurst. Flex is AJ Brown. I'm going to give that a B just because there is a whole lot of upside there, but there's also a lot of boom or bust potential. So you could have some weeks where you outscore everybody in the league, and you could have some weeks where you're going to score in the bottom third.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with a B- there, just because I like to build teams that are consistent week to week, and I do feel like there's going to be a lot of fluctuation. You're going to have some boom weeks, and you're going to have some weeks that you're going to wish you had a little bit more stability. So,
Giuseppe throwing out another donation. Appreciate you, my man. Full PPR. Only have one tight end for now, which is Hurst. Should I pick up a second? Jonnu Smith, Gesicki, Herndon. Was thinking of taking one for the bench and dropping Vaughn. Drop Vaughn, pick up Jonnu Smith, 100%.
I like Gesicki a little bit more than Jonnu, but I'm okay with either.
Okay, you're off the channel.
Sorry.
Isaiah Potter.
All right, cool.
Tossing out more donations. Appreciate you, Isaiah. Jake. The name is In Chubb We Trust, and it's a PPR 2. And how do you guys feel about Jarvis Landry now that he's healthy? Wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. I would like him as my wide receiver 3.
I agree. I'm going to go for a 3 with the upside of the 2.
Ethan.
Yeah, I agree too.
Are you all questioned out?
I'm just... Yeah. I'm like trying to find it.
Our man Randall Peck, one of our MVP Patreon members, he's going to be tossing out a draft guide donation as well. So we got another one to give away. He throws out that $20 dono for that. Everyone throw out some GGs in the chat for Randall. Gurley's ball catchers, 8th spot, full PPR, super flex, 0.5 points per target as well. You've got Matty Ice, Ekeler Jacobs, Ridley Boyd and Gallup, Gurley David Johnson, Cooks and Haskins is his starters. Me personally, I'm going to give you a B- just because with that 0.5 point per target, I would like to see some wide receivers there that have a better chance at targets. Ridley's going to be a guy that's going to lose a ton of targets to other guys. Boyd's going to lose a ton of targets to other guys. Gallup's going to lose a ton of targets to other guys. Cooks could potentially lose a ton of targets to other guys. And a half per target format, you got to get wide receivers that are going to see a lot of targets come their way. You need to add guys like Jamison Crowder, Robert Woods, those type of guys that are going to see a lot of volume come at them.
You are feeling it, Kyle. I can just tell it's like it's flowing through your veins right now.
All the way from my loins up to my man pecs.
Wow.
Rico Phoenix says in a full PPR, we've got Dak, and then he's got Chubb, Miles, Mixon, Galladay Woods, DJ Moore, Jonnu Smith, Jonathan Taylor, McLaurin. Rico, do me a favor. Head into your Rompus room. Go ahead and go up to your ledge that has your many trophies on it from all of your bowling championships and skee ball championships down at the local arcade. Move those aside and make room for that fantasy football championship because, brother, you're bringing it home this year. That's a winner.
I mean, you brought up skee ball. That is amazing in a live stream. I don't think we've ever talked about that before. Ever.
Ball, baby.
Whew. Man. That got a little hot and heavy for a while.
Hold on. We got one more. Where is it at? It got away from me. I'm going to let it flow again at 700 likes. Give me 700 likes to let it flow again.
And I got 4 winners right now at Draft Guides. I'm going to give away 4 right now, and we have 4 left to go after this as of right now.
Alpha Jerk also threw out a donation. Thanks, Alpha. Appreciate it, brother. Thanks for joining in on the live stream tonight. Jake, who's our winners?
Thanks, Alpha, but don't ever interrupt me again, Kyle. Ever.
No, that was amazing.
First one, Randy Lara. Lara is the last name. Randy, send me an email at the email address down below. Next one, Brady Wren. Send me an email also. Last name is Renn. Joseph Winkler, you're going to receive a free draft guide. Also, email me at the address down below. And hopefully I don't butcher your last name. Greg Pucci, Pucci, Greg Pucci. Send me an email. You'll get a draft guide. Also got 4 left to give away. Plus, don't forget, our boy Joe earlier donated 5 memberships to the rookie tier of Patreon for anybody that signs up first.
Hit that like button because if you want a draft guide or if you want some of that Patreon sweet love, stick around for a few because we're going to keep letting it flow. We've got some more stuff to give away. And of course, you get to look at this on the live stream, and Ethan as well. He's not looking too bad tonight either. Hussein Rizik also found a donation. I bet $99 Dr. Ethan takes mega poops daily.
Somebody owes me $99.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Start throwing out those questions. Let's go. I joined the rookie Patreon tonight. That is awesome. Thanks so much, Sophie. Really glad to have you. Appreciate that support. Adolfo says, where's my draft guide? I don't know. Stick around. You could still win one. Someone says, leave Pucci. Oh my God. Swag out, Kyle. It's 700 likes. We're there. Let it flow. Doing it again. My dad won't let me get a draft guide. Colby, do some chores and you'll be able to get one. Slick Rich. No, Swag Rich. CEH or Adams. Give me Adams. Have PPR, Green or Akers in the flex. Give me Akers for right now. Aaron Jones for a 3rd round pick keeper. Love that value. Chubb, Sanders. Holy crap, it disappeared. Chubb, Sanders, Mixon, Drake, pick 2. It's Chubb and Mixon for me. Singletary or Ingram, Singletary still. Mike Evans, a top 5 wide receiver in half PPR, probably not this year. Swag Rich and Kyle, I'd love a draft guide. It would really help me out if I could have one. I need to win my leagues this year. Stick around. You could still win one. Boston Scott or Edmonds for my last pick. Give me Edmonds. My wife walked by and said, who's the new guy on this? They finally got some handsome face. David, divorce her. Higbee every week. No, not right now. Would love to get a draft guide. Stick around. Cortland Sutton, Todd Gurley, or Tyler Lockett in the flex. And an 8 league, it's going to be Todd Gurley for right now. Devontae Parker, Hollywood Brown, Devontae Parker. 800 likes. Let's go. Let's get it to 800 people. Let's Give me some more. Mixon versus Cook. It's Mixon. Mike Thomas or Mixon. It's Mixon for me still. Galladay or Ekeler. It is Ekeler in a PPR or half. If it's anything less, it's Galladay. Who do I start? Gurley or Metcalf or Taylor or AJ Green? Is it flex? Give me Metcalf to start. Throw out 2 good sleepers. We've done a lot of sleeper episodes. Mike Williams was one until he got hurt. Jameson Crowder's another one. Jonnu Smith continues to be a sleeper right now. Chark Landry or Jonathan Taylor in the week 1. It's going to be Chark for me to begin with, but keep an eye on the situation because it could be Taylor very quickly. Rank DJ, Connor, Aaron Jones, Carson, DJ, Aaron Jones, Connor, Carson, in that order. Tony Romo, who? How do I get a draft guide? Stick around. We're going to pick some people. Chubb or Drake? Chubb. Chark Landry or I lost it. It's gone. Chubb or Drake? Chubb. Godwin or Hopkins? Godwin for me. Swagrich, Chubb, Juju or Tom Brady? Swagrich, number 1. And then Chubb, and then Juju, and then Tom Brady. Oh, that was from Jaden. My bad. I thought I was being asked to rank myself in order there. Harris or Dobbins? Dobbins for me. I need a draft guide. Stick around, people. 12 teams. CD Lamb. 8th round or later. That's not bad. I'd like to get him a little bit later, but more than likely you're not going to be able to. In the 3rd round, Galladay or Carson? Galladay. Josh Jacobs or Joshua Jacobs or Justin Jackson? Wait, what?
I hope that's not a true answer or true question. That's got to be a joke.
What?
What did you just say?
Dr. Ethan looks like he constantly bumps Wait, what? Marvin's Room by Drake. It's chocolate.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
I'm gonna have to write this down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go listen to it and see if I actually
running back
it.
strategy or 3 straight running back strategy to start the draft. You've got to flow. You got to let it flow back and forth. For me, it's 2 and then a wide receiver, but you never know what could happen. If there's good value there, you got to roll with it. Zach Moss in a dynasty over Madison. Nope, Madison for me right now because, Cook's not getting that extension, it looks like. Jacobs or Chubb? Jacobs. Baker Mayfield or Minshew? The Bake Show, baby. Is Ingram a top 5 tight end if he's healthy? Yeah, if he's healthy, 100%. Doyle or Jonnu? It's Jonnu. Kyle, Jake, or Ethan in the flex. Put all 3 of us in there. Josh Jacobs or Zeke? It's Zeke. Already answered that one. Jonnu or Herndon? Jonnu. Jacobs or CEH? Jacob. Best non-PPR targets? Henry is probably the best non-PPR target you can get out there outside of CMC and Barkley. Mixon or Jacob? Mixon. Goff, Jimmy G, Tannehill. Rate them. I'm going with Goff or Tannehill, Jimmy G, and then Goff. Well, right now it's Goff and then Jimmy G because Jimmy G doesn't have anyone to throw to. Jonnu or Doyle? Jonnu. Jonnu or Herndon? Jonnu. Zeke or Cook? Zeke. Josh Jacobs or Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry. Just actually bumped him up above Jacobs. Joshua Kelly or Justin Jackson? Give me Joshua Kelly. Tim Tebow or Rex Grossman? Tim Tebow. Gesicki or Hurst? Give me Ooh, that's close, but Gesicki, barely. Mike Thomas, or it's gone. My bad. Kenyon Drake or Miles Sanders? Miles Sanders. Latavius Murray or Zach Moss? A better handcuff. Latavius Murray. Half PPR. Get your back blown out by King Kong or Shrek. Neither. Chark or Metcalf? Metcalf. Sorry. Metcalf. DJ, Hilton, TY, or DJ and Hilton or TY and Chark. Give me what? DJ Hilton or TY Chark. People, okay. Now they're just messing with the flow now. I'm not
screwed up your flow. They have screwed up your flow, but that's okay. Take a drink, Kyle. Take a drink. Calm down a little bit.
Because getting frustrated.
Ethan needs to rate a team here.
Oh, I'm ready.
We got a team name.
Hit me.
Smokin' Jays is the team name.
All right.
He came from Pick 6, just in case you're wondering.
That's good to know.
He's got Godwin, OBJ as his wide receivers.
Okay.
Good. Jacobs and CEH at running back. Okay.
All right.
Jonnu Smith. And he's also got Terry McLaurin, Hollywood Brown as flex plays. The Chargers defense. He's got a Young Ho Koo as a kicker. And on his bench.
Young Ho Koo?
Yeah, him. Exactly. Okay. He's also got David Montgomery, James White, Matt Breida, Boston Scott, Mike Gesicki, Brandon Cooks, Jalen Reagor, and Darius Slayton on his bench. overall, that to me is a solid. The name, okay, Smoking Jays, well, yeah, whatever. But I'm thinking more like a solid A. Solid A.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I would say probably an A- to an A, somewhere around
Yeah.
there. Depends on how your school judges. If it's a 92, probably an A-, but some schools 94 is an A-. I'm just saying, I don't know what Kyle's stupid grading system is, but I'm gonna just say it right now. I think it was an A. Solid effort and definitely in the running for a championship this year.
I would agree. What about John Williams? And that was from Josh Chapman. Appreciate you, Josh. John Williams. If you draft a running back first round and Lamar second, is Lamar basically a running back 2 as a quarterback? No, because you still need a running back 2. So, I mean, I get where you're coming from. He's going to have that rushing upside, but you're still going to need a running back 2 also. So, yeah, I mean, I get what you're talking about. I just can't take Lamar in the second. I can't do it.
I took him on the turn actually in one of our Patreon drafts, but I had CMC in the first, so I went CMC, and then I turned back and grabbed Jonathan Taylor and Lamar Jackson. But this was very much a squad that I wanted to root for. Very much a squad that I wanted to have players that I'm just basically having fun picking players that I don't normally get.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have any Lamar Jackson. And sometimes fantasy football just has to be about having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be excited when Lamar Jackson puts up 40 points in a week. And I have at least one league where he's doing that for me.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Very well said. I mean, Kyle needs to start reevaluating his grading schedule because, it's comments like that, Ethan, that show that you're a smart man. You're a smart man.
Whatever. We've got a special request to rate my team. I'm going to throw this out here for you fellas. At quarterback, Josh Allen. At running back, Saquon Barkley and Nick Chubb. At wide receiver, DJ Moore and Cortland Sutton. Zach Ertz is the tight end. Flex is James Conner. On the bench, we've got Kerryon Johnson, Damian Harris, J.K. Dobbins, Zach Moss, Devontae Parker, Deonte Johnson, CeeDee Lamb. That is a solid, for me, that is a solid B+. Just a little bit worried about the upside with the wide receivers.
Yeah, the wide receivers worry me. And you got some guys on your bench that I wouldn't have gone for. There's some next year, maybe 2 year down the road type players, but solid.
Yeah, I agree. You might be waiting a year for this team to really reach full potential, but overall, not bad.
So if this is a redraft league, I'm sorry, but your potential is next year. Just redraft them next year.
sorry about that.
Is basically what Ethan just said. If it's for 2020, you're going to suck. This is kind of what he said. Let's see here. What about...
Did we rate Josh Chapman's team yet?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're at RCEE Productions.
I thought
Appreciate you.
I thought it was RC Productions.
Okay, sure. That works too. I have the 8th pick. Edwards falls to me. Then I got... Edwards falls to me in all the mock drafts I have done. Do I grab him or someone else? I'm guessing Edwards, he's talking about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Well, I don't know if he's talking about Brian Edwards. If he's got the 8th pick, I'm sure he's talking about Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yes.
Personally, I'm passing. I know not everybody agrees with that. I look at a rookie with no rookie camp, an abbreviated training camp, and no preseason games. Personally, I would rather choose somebody who I've seen perform in the NFL over somebody who we're just kind of thinking we know what's going to happen. I'll take the proven stud over the unproven rookie just because of the year that we're having this year. Ethan, I know you probably disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, so I'm going to say that I think that's pretty much where we have to draft him. So I don't love it. I could see how it could blow up in your face quite a bit, but I think at any point, you're looking at the upside is just, it's a perfect situation. So I don't see a way that it turns bad if he's healthy all year.
Perfect. Kyle, what's next?
PJ Eckerson, 10th pick. Thoughts?
Wait. If you're the teacher, at least pronounce his name right.
Erickson. Oh, my bad. I don't have my glasses on. I
That's
get a little
probably
bit
like a
for
B
that.
minus.
That was like a B minus
for
start to the question,
alliteration.
Kyle.
Your verbiage. Probably a B minus
PJ
on my scale.
Erickson. 10th pick. Thoughts? Adams and Julio. Then I got Odell and Fournette, Matt Ryan at QB, and David Montgomery at running back 2. Those running backs really, really worry me. Great wide receivers. Extremely good wide receivers. So I'm going to give you a B minus for that. But if I have a club that is that thin at running back, I am scared to death.
I don't want David Montgomery to be my number 2.
Not right now, anyway.
I mean, he's not going to be your number 2 at least until probably week 3.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do in the meantime? I mean, having Adams, Julio, and Odell is cool, but who are you gonna start as your running back 2 after Fournette? That part worries me. Maybe you have other options on your bench. If you don't, maybe there's somebody that you can trade for. But that part worries me.
Yeah, I agree. Little thin at running back in a year where that is going to be tough to bounce back from. I mean, you're going to be playing the waiver wire basically the entire season to try to find somebody that can fill in as that RB2 especially when you're dealing with somebody that's already hurt and potentially going to miss week 1 in David Montgomery. So, yeah, I don't like to play that way, but I guess you do. I guess you do.
Next, Kyle.
Now, next. Dante LaBella.
LaBella.
Back blown out by handsome Squidward or human Shrek.
Neither is still our choice. I'm going to go with neither on that one, Bob. Next.
Nicholas Allen. No. Holy crap. Okay. Dayton Parish. There we go. In a 10-man full PPR. Team name is Under the Influence. Wentz is W-E-N-T-Z.
I like that.
A+ for the name.
That's great.
Yeah.
QB is Wentz. Good job. A+.
I would hope so.
A++ for doing that. Running back, Elliott and Jacobs. Wide receivers, Adams and Robinson. Andrews is the tight end. Flex is Woods. Hunt, Swift, Rojo, Crowder, Deonte Johnson, Damian Harris on the bench. Give me that sweet, sweet A+.
I mean, it's hard to get an A+, but because you included a very well developed name, this is about as close as an A+ gets. And even though it's only 10 man, I'm questioning the ability of the people in your league to understand fantasy football, because you have yourself a stacked squad, Dayton, and I would have no issues. I mean, there's no holes on that roster anywhere.
Nicholas Allen says, what do you think of my team? Already getting a C- because you did not put your team name. But Dayton says, oh, wait, we just did Dayton. Nicholas says, excuse me, what do you think of my team? 12-man standard with the 9th pick. He's got Kyler Murray, Kamara, CEH, Juju, Woods, Hurst, Johnson, Hunt, Brown, Jones, Cook, Daniel Jones, Jonnu Smith. The problem with that, Nicholas, is you targeted far too many PPR guys. If this is a standard league, you've got Kamara, CH, and Woods, who a majority of their draft stock is based on receptions. So while this is a strong team, it is not really that strong in standard. Honestly, for me, it's probably borderline C+, B-.
I don't know. I see why that's your argument, but I also think that from you want to have good football players, even if it is standard. So I don't necessarily agree with that low of a grade. I do think you're capping a little bit of your upside with the players that you chose at the positions you chose, because you're hoping Kamara bounces back from the touchdown perspective. He did not produce in that regard last year, but he was hurt. Juju is kind of a compiler, but you're hoping with Big Ben coming back, you're going to see a touchdown jump there. Same thing with Woods. I don't hate this roster as much, but I do I don't think you can get an A with the way that you've constructed it. So I'm going to go with a solid B with potential to be a B plus, with potentially a trade for somebody that's a little bit more consistent. I think you could turn those pieces into a standard league monster like a Derrick Henry or a Zeke Elliott, and then your team's looking really, really good for the rest of the year.
Perfect. Next, Kyle.
I think for me too, one other thing is if I see who was there when you drafted some of these guys, if there was nobody better and that's who you just went with, then that probably will bump it up a little bit for me. But I'd have to see those things. You would have to show your work in my class for me to raise that grade a little bit. I'm taking.
We already know that Kyle's grading system is trash. So
next up, Jimmy Voltse. I'm probably pronouncing that last one wrong. My bad. Non-PPR 12 teams. Stafford, Saquon, Connor, Odell, Hollywood, Montgomery, Noah Fant, Pittsburgh D, Justin Tucker, Bench, Jonathan Taylor, Boyd, J.K. Dobbins, Anthony Miller, Ebron, Duke Johnson. I like this one a little bit more because even with Saquon, you've got Connor, Hollywood Brown, Montgomery's a guy, obviously, we don't really know yet. You got Jonathan Taylor. You've got guys that Ebron even that are really going to help in a non-PPR league. So I'm giving this one a B.
I'll go with a B. It's a little Steeler heavy. I think Jimmy is a Steelers fan, which is not a bad thing. But there's a few Steelers on there. I mean, we got Ebron, we got the defense, we got Connor. But yeah, overall for a standard league, I don't hate it whatsoever. You got some big play upside. You got a little bit of safety there. I'll go with a solid B, a bold B.
What's wrong with having good team players, Jake? What you got against the Steelers? I'm going to say it's a B. I do like this bench has a lot of upside on it to be potentially back half of the year league winning. I mean, you've got Jonathan Taylor on their bench. He could be a guy that after week 3 or 4, you're like, holy crap, I can't leave this guy on the bench. He's starting for me. Going to be nice to have Tyler Boyd there again, just as kind of that safe option at wide receiver. J.K. Dobbins, again, looking at the second half of the year to potentially make some hay with that pick. Overall, I don't hate it. I'm going to go with a solid B as well.
Bruin backhand. 10-team PPR name. How's my Dak taste?
Okay. He's starting off on a good foot.
Oh. Dak, Jacobs, Mixon, Allen Robinson, A.J. Brown, George Kittle, DJ Chark. On the bench? Oh, no, that's David Johnson. And then on the bench is DJ Chark, Boyd, Deonte, Reagor, James Wright, John New. That's a solid A- for me.
Yeah, I'm going solid A minus right there too. I mean, overall, I love it. You got DJ Chark and Tyler Boyd on your bench as your wide receivers 3 and 4. I love it. Isaiah
showing some more love in the chat again tonight.
Ethan doesn't get to talk again.
I thought it was an A too.
As soon as this live stream is over, I'm going to leave the record button on to see just what Ethan says to Kyle.
It's cool, Kyle. It's cool. I know it's different having multiple people in the room and everyone's talking at the same time and you're trying to get in. I think honestly might be a little intimidated that maybe perhaps I'm letting it flow a little harder than you, even with the swag rich. I know based on some comments on our last video with me and Jake that the fans are a little concerned that now that we have a doctor, swag rich is in, that Kyle might not be able to keep his job. So I can see the pressure to kind of hold me down, but just know that you can't hold this down, Kyle. You can't.
Hey, Doc.
I am inevitable.
Hey, Doc, guess what? You don't have anything harder than this guy.
Like Thanos. I'm here. I'm inevitable. Just accept it, Kyle.
Isaiah throwing some more love in the chat. Appreciate it, Isaiah. Thoughts on drafting a player more than once? I'm guessing he means like on multiple teams across.
I was like, I didn't know you could do that. I thought once he was drafted, he was gone.
I'm fine with that. I like to diversify a little bit, but if there's guys that I really, really, truly love and I believe in, I've got no problem getting them over and over and over and over.
depending on who it is. I kind of like what Ethan said before. If you have some fun leagues to go out there and pick some of the guys maybe you don't get in some of your other leagues, which is fine. But yeah, I mean, if it's like something where I really have a strong feeling about a certain player, then I'll target them everywhere.
Ethan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I try to diversify as best I can. I'm in a lot of dynasty leagues, so I tend to gravitate towards certain players, but I also keep them year after year. So if I think a player is going to be good for the next 5 years, I'm not going to just skip them just because I have them somewhere else. But I do have a few leagues where I'm a little bit more. I reach a little bit more on players that I really like to root for, and that I feel like they're going to be good, even if they aren't necessarily the value isn't great in the draft. I am one that will reach for a player if I feel like I've got to have this guy on my team. So yeah, but when you play in as many leagues as I'm sure that you guys and I do, you're doomed to have players that you repeat. If you're only in 2 or 3 leagues, then yeah, you might not double up as often, but I find myself drafting similar players in a lot of different leagues because it's not like I don't like players once I've drafted them. Like I still like them.
Hey, and we're getting some people talking about a possible new T-shirt idea. Hashtag, you can't hold this down.
You can't hold this.
Or hashtag, you don't have anything harder. I like it.
Hashtag, I'm the hardest.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Devin Kachowski. Trade Allen and Gurley for Sutton and David Johnson. That's a no for me.
Allen and Gurley for Sutton and David Johnson. I'm guessing that's Keenan Allen, right?
Yes, I'm assuming so.
No, I'd rather have Keenan and Gurley if it's just this year. Ethan?
I agree. Sorry, I was trying to
start
find
responding
it.
sooner, I'm going to keep skipping you.
What'd you say?
If you don't start responding sooner, I'm going to keep skipping
Kyle, say it to my face.
Hey.
Come over here. Come on up in here, Kyle, and say that to my face.
Aaliyah and David's Great Adventures in a 12-man PPR league. Wentz, Jacobs, CEH, Allen Robinson, Ridley, Galladay, Hurst, AJ Brown, Hollywood, Akers on the bench. What do you guys think of that?
I mean, I love it. I mean, Galladay, Ridley, Robinson to go with Jacobs and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You still got A.J. Brown, Hollywood Brown. You went double Brown on us. Got Cam Akers on the bench. I mean, I like that. I like, even though it sounds like it's a full PPR. You got guys with like Galladay who maybe not PPR studs, but then you get guys like Allen Robinson who kind of are. So kind of a good balance. I like it.
Yeah, I'll go solid B+ there.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Bose White says team.
Dude, it's Boaz.
Boaz White. Team Bolama. Bolama. Bollama.
Bolama.
Bolama. My bad.
Bolama.
Anyway,
Bolama.
Matt Ryan, and then Saquon and Miles Sanders, Galladay and Sutton, Drake Hurst, and then on the bench, Connor, Robinson, Scary Terry, Connor, Hardman. That's a solid B+ for me.
He maybe get an A because he's got James Conner twice on his bench. So somehow he figured out how to draft a player twice, Isaiah. So maybe you and Boaz need to get together because he's got double Conner on his bench. For the team, though, yeah, I'll take that all day long. Solid A.
For those of you that are dropping super chats, we're really behind right now because we got a ton of them. So just if you've paid, okay, just stick around and keep watching because we're going to get to it. PJ Erickson drops another donation, says, thanks, guys. And I got Ronald Jones on my bench. That makes Jake feel a little bit better. Thanks,
At least
PJ.
he's on the bench.
Benji Sermon, please rate in a full PPR. Allen at quarterback, and then Kamara and Jones at running back. Godwin and Cooper at wide receiver. The flex is Lockett. Tight end is Ingram. I'll go with a B. That's there's some concerns I have there, but it's okay. It's okay. B for me.
Ethan?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the B as well. I'm not a huge fan of the bench, but overall, not bad.
Two players that I do not like this year, Aaron Jones and Amari Cooper. You have both of them. Sorry, Benji, but I'm going to have to go with a B-.
Adoree Hines, Danka Notachi. It's a Bleach reference.
We're too old probably for that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
He's followed our videos, which is good. McCaffrey, Connor, and Galladay, Lamar Jackson and Ridley, James White, Fuller, Hurst and Madison, San Francisco defense on the bench, Lamb, Stafford, Hardman, Jonnu Smith, Slayton, Gonzalez. Is that Zane, like the kicker?
Maybe.
Zane Gonzalez, probably.
Curtis Samuel, 10-team standard, and he had the first pick. First off, there's no reason anybody should ever have two kickers on their team. Did he say two kickers?
Drop a kicker.
Or just Gonzalez? Maybe it's just Gonzalez. Anyway,
okay.
Hopefully you don't have two kickers on your team. For a 10-team, that's not bad.
I mean, I like how he's got McCaffrey, Galladay, and Lamar Jackson. I'll take that. I don't mind that whatsoever. I'll take that all day long.
Yeah, anytime I can stack McCaffrey and Lamar Jackson, I'm feeling really good about that because those two are going to win you. You're going to go 500 on just them hitting the same weeks. So at that point, you're just trying to beat out a few other players. So you're good.
Yeah, my concern is this is a 10-team standard. And I think when you got a guy like James White, who you're going to be putting into your James White, to me, has absolutely zero value in standard leagues. He doesn't do anything in a standard league. You got to toss him out the door and move on from him. But in a 10-team league, I would expect to see a little bit better depth and a better wide receiver too. That's my concern, is that maybe you jump the gun on Ridley a little bit and there might have been better wide receivers there. So to me, this is kind of a B- because I would like to see a little bit bigger name depth here, higher upside depth.
All right. What's next, Kyle?
Giuseppe back says, appreciate you guys in a full PPR. He's got Prescott and then he's got Sanders, Taylor, Ingram, Dobbins, and Vaughn, Hopkins, Galladay, Kupp, Boyd, Deonte Johnson, and Hurst, Jalen Reagor. Then the waivers, he's got Jonnu, Gesicki, Deshaun Jackson, Beasles, Hines, Burkhead. Any changes that you would make? Definitely, I'd be picking up Jonnu Smith as soon as Reagor is available to move to the IR.
Or if you feel like somebody's going to take him, I wouldn't be opposed to dropping Keyshawn Vaughn and grabbing Jonnu Smith. Outside of that, though, no. I mean, that's about it. Or just, heck, I would probably put it, and if it's like a fab budget where you got to go in there and bid against your league mates, I would put a waiver claim on Jonnu and Gesicki and have them both selected for Vaughn, and then you'll get one of them. Ethan?
Yeah, I like that you added Dobbins with Ingram. That's gonna be good because you're gonna transition to Dobbins at some point. Ingram to me is you're looking at half a year tops before Dobbins becomes kind of the guy, and that's assuming that Ingram stays healthy the whole time. We saw him have a calf strain at the end of last year, which really kind of hurt people once you got into the playoffs. So I like that you've already got the backup plan. I'm not a huge fan of handcuffing running backs, unless it's a case like that where one is going to basically take over for the other guy. I like having that you've locked up that backfield, which is going to score points. So it's really just about making sure that we don't get into this like murky, which guy is going to be the guy this week situation, which I don't think is going to be the case. I think that Ingram's going to be the guy to start the year, and then you're going to see slowly and surely they're going to start trusting Dobbins more with the workload. So overall, I'm a fan. So I'm going to let's go B+, but like an 89%. So you're just off that A-.
He's close. All right. Super close. What's next, Kyle?
Well, you know what? If I was the instructor, I'd just go ahead and round up for him. So
I don't think you would.
Look, you don't know that. You don't know that.
I do.
If I liked them and they were a good person and they didn't disrupt my class all the time, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt.
So what you're saying is you don't grade based on merit. You grade based on how much you like people.
No, I grade based on merit.
College
but if
education.
I like you, I'll give you a little bit extra. Like people, Ethan, that's why you didn't get anything earlier.
This is garbage.
I want to see you guys like arm wrestle or sumo wrestle or something.
This is
Something's gotta
hot
happen.
garbage, okay? Because I don't believe in crap.
Ethan's first ever B.
I'm hot.
He will never
I'm
forget
hot.
it.
I'm still hot about that B. So
To be fair, it was a B-, not a B. DSV, it's either II or 2. Picking 9th out of 10.5 PPR. Which 2 running back combo is the best? Sanders, Jacob, Mixon, Chubb, Ekeler, Drake. It's Jacob and Mixon for me. I definitely know it's Chubb and somebody for Jake.
Just say this is it's half PPR.
Half.
If it's half, give me Chubb and Jacobs.
I'm going to go with
Chubb
and Ekeler, probably.
Yeah, Eckler's super close, though.
So predictable.
Hey, I'm sorry. We've already said that. Kyle's like, gosh, you're so predictable. You said exactly what you said an hour ago. I just would never expected it. Piss me off.
Giovanni Santibanez, 10 teams, half PPR. We have no tight end slot.
Well, that's weird.
Well, that doesn't sound like any fun.
Everybody needs a tight end slot.
He has 3 slots at wide receivers or tight ends that can go into, and then a traditional flex spot. Quarterback is Dak. Running backs are Kamara, Drake, Swift, Harris, Hines, and Madison. And then wide receiver tight end is Kelsey, Robinson, Moore, Marquise Brown, Boyd, and Jones Jr. That's a B for me, not quite a B plus.
I'm just worried about running back depth.
Yes, there's not a whole lot of running back depth there. Also with your wide receivers, who would have been there instead of Travis Kelce? Again, you don't have a tight end spot. With it being half PPR, does Kelce really fly up into some of those wide receiver spots a little bit more? Is he a guy that could be like a typical wide receiver, 2 type when, the points are all converged together? So yeah, it's a B for me. I don't hate it, but I don't absolutely love it either.
Do you love it?
I agree. It's B minus. Kyle's going to round you up to a B because you are nice to him, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to say B minus. But I also like having that running back depth. So I'm going to go with a B minus. Don't take it offensively. I just grade by what I see. I don't give any special bonus points for, if you come see me after class and cheese up and bring me an apple. I'm not about that. I'm not about that life. So,
what I've realized tonight, Jake, Ethan's your typical doctor. Okay. He lets everyone else do the work. And then he comes in and just says, oh yeah, I'm looking at your chart here. I'm going to agree with us here.
We need to have like a combine to have all of us compete against each other.
Yeah,
you guys are like some little brothers right now.
Oh, I love it.
I'm just saying, I don't do that.
What? I'm sorry.
I said I don't do that.
Okay.
But if I could, I might.
If you have a patient that is super nice and doesn't give you a hard time and listens to everything you say, you don't give them any preferential treatment and say, what,
nope.
This time slot would not typically be open, but what, for you, I'm going to open it. I don't believe you.
Nope, I don't.
Okay.
Nope. That's not how I treat everyone the same. And that is very poorly. I am just as mean here as I am at work.
If you don't set those expectations and you don't set that bar high, you never have to worry about getting
I just tell people how it is straight up. You come in to me, you're going to get it. You're going to get it straight. And some people don't like it that way, and that's okay.
Ms. Johnson, what time would you like to come in next week? I'd like to be here at 9:50 because I have some things going on. We open at 10, damn it.
Yeah, I wish I opened at 10. Jeez. But no, you are treated exactly the same as everyone else, and I tell you how it is. That's just how I roll.
You hate everybody the same.
That's true.
It's okay. That's true. I can roll with that. That's the first thing we've agreed on all night.
Perfect. Moving on.
Jameson Lundstrom, 10-team standard. The Glizzy Gobblers.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. He's got Breeze as his quarterback, Galladay and Ridley as his wide receivers, okay. Mixon and Jacobs as his running back, okay. Herndon at tight end, Gurley at flex. On his bench, he's got Woods, Keenan Allen, Cooks, Reagor, Burrow, Hyde, Lutz, and the Pats D. I don't mind that at all. It's a good-looking team for a 10-team standard. Jacobs is really good in standard. Woods and Keenan Allen together on the bench are a little too PPR-ish. You kind of take care of that with Galladay and Ridley, though. So for me, B+.
I mean, I don't know if I love Herndon as my tight end. I just don't want any part of that Jets offense. I really don't. Maybe outside of possibly Jamison Crowder. Otherwise, I'm just kind of not interested as my tight end one.
Jake, haven't you heard all the news that Sam Darnold loves Chris Herndon and they're like best friends?
They're
That's his
binky. They're like BFFs. Yeah,
that's his binky, dog.
It's his binky.
Young quarterback, they got to have their binky. And so I don't hate it, but I hope it turns out that way because if it doesn't, you're in serious trouble.
What if Crowder is his binky? He was his
you
binky
can have
last
two
year.
binkies. Why can't you have two binkies?
He has a binky and a blanket.
Yeah, you got, Crowder's his blankie, and then he's got his binky. So it's all good.
Perfect. That's the only thing I got, though, is the tight end is a little for me.
Who's this bottle? Who's he going to be? Jesus.
Okie dokie. Moving on. Next one.
Wow.
Peter C. If I have CMC and Galladay already, should I get Mahomes or Lamar Jackson for round 3, or should I get Kittle or Kelsey? Me personally, I'm going with my running back 2. It depends on who's there. If there aren't any good running backs left over, if they're all kind of, I can get this round 1 and round 4, then I would go Kelsey or Kittle instead. I wouldn't go for my quarterback just yet.
I don't know. I mean, I know I can tell you. I'm not even going to make eye contact with Ethan, but he said a little bit earlier that any chance he gets to pair up CMC with Lamar Jackson, he was going to do it. So he would have the opportunity to do it here. I don't. I get it. I understand it. But personally, I would rather have another running back because otherwise, if you don't, depending on where this pick is at, you're going to have to wait another 24 picks. And there may not be any running backs left by that point. And you're stuck starting like somebody horrible like Le'Veon Bell.
Ethan, would you like?
I would say if you're trying to win the league, you would stack CMC with Lamar Jackson. But if you want to play the safest route, you need to grab another running back. So I agree with Kyle that you should grab another running back. I'm probably not grabbing a tight end here, but I do like a lot of the tight ends that are going in that like 10 to 14 range. And I'd rather just grab 2 of those guys and hope one of them hits, knowing that I can stock up on running backs. Because if you don't hit running backs early, you ain't getting one. So if I'm playing it smart, I'm going to go with the running back 2. If I want to have a little bit of fun this year, which I think you should because it's fantasy football, it's a game about a game, you should go with the CMC Lamar Jackson stack.
Exactly.
Yasan Taylor, I saw you already answered this, but Yasan, I told you several minutes ago, we're kind of behind on super chats. We're working our way through them. Okay. You retracted your message, which I don't know why, because your donation still went through. So thanks for the dono. Try to drop it in the chat and we'll keep an eye on it. But if you don't, we're not going to be able to answer it. So practice patience, young Padawan. Isaiah throws out another donation there. Preston Williams, wide receiver 1 or 2, Doc. Good to see you.
So I think he's asking.
He's asking me specifically, Kyle.
Yeah. Okay.
But I would say that he's going to start the year as the wide receiver 2. I'm assuming we're talking on his own team. I'll just assume we're talking on his own team because I don't think he's going to be a wide receiver 1 in fantasy overall. But on his own team, I think he's going to start as the wide receiver 2. And then by the end of the year, he's going to end up being the wide receiver 1. Typically, you want to see about 12 months with ACL recovery before they're at pre-injury production. So he might start the year a little bit slower from a production standpoint, and then he's going to ramp it back up as he gets close to that 12-month period.
David, did you answer, Jake?
David or Devin?
Did you want to say anything about Preston Williams? I don't want to leave you out.
He was only asking the doc. So
I know. I just want to make sure. I don't want anyone else getting upset with me tonight because I'm not giving them the full amount of time to speak.
I get upset with you every night, no matter what. So it doesn't matter.
This is true. Devin Chakowski, team name Yippee Ki Yay, Justin Tucker. He's got Josh Allen, Barkley Gurley, Galladay Allen, Metcalf, Jonnu Smith, Marquise Brown on the bench, Jarvis, Murray, Stafford, and Goddard. B- for me. It's not deep enough. Okay. I like it a little bit deeper. This isn't very deep for me. Okay. You got to go a little bit deeper before Swag Rich is feeling the flow there.
Kyle likes it deep. I don't see Justin Tucker on here, even though he is the focal point of your hilarious team name. So I'm hoping he's there and you just didn't list him because kickers don't matter.
I just got it.
You just got it?
I didn't understand it.
Wow.
I didn't understand the Justin Tucker part, but now I get it.
Yeah, Kyle, just a little slow on the gun there. But I'm going to say
I'm not a doctor or anything, so
the team name is funny. The squad could use a little bit of work. I'm not a big fan of Marquise Brown starting. I'd probably put Jarvis in there to get that safe floor. Why you got two quarterbacks, man? Or unless that's Latavius Murray, I guess that would make sense.
It doesn't matter. He still has
doesn't matter.
Stafford.
I would hope that it's Latavius Murray. You don't have three quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Still, you don't need two quarterbacks unless you can start them both. You don't need two. Grab another player that you're going to have to start multiple of and have that flexibility. But for the most part, it's okay. I'm going to go with a B because I like the name.
And real quick, Kyle, before the next one, Yasan, he put his question there in the chat. It's rate my team: Dak Prescott, Kenny Galladay, Juju, Miles Sanders, Mark Ingram, Hayden Hurst, Devontae Parker. So overall starting lineup, super solid.
Mm-hmm.
On the bench, hashtag say no to Rojo, James White, Mike Gesicki, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Dillon, Robbie Anderson, Lazard, and Stafford. So another thing, you don't need two quarterbacks. Once again, we just talked about no need for Stafford if you got Dak. Wide receiver depth is amazeballs. Running back depth, I'm a little bit worried because you got only thing you got is Sanders, Ingram, and Rojo. And then you're going down to the James White territory, and I don't know if this is PPR or not. So that's the only thing that worries me. Anybody else? Going once? Going twice?
No, I think you pretty much hit it.
Perfect. Sold. Going on. Moving on, Kyle.
Gordon Sorrell says absolutely nothing. He just tosses out a donation. Thanks so much,
Shout
Gordon.
out to
Appreciate
that
your
guy.
support. Jamie
I guess.
has a question. He's calling Dr. Turner first. Damage Incorporated is the team name. Half PPR. Rate it for him, Dr. Turner. Prescott, Zeke, Chubb, Swift, Bell, Galladay, Moore, Boyd, Parker, Deonte, Hardman, Hurst.
Yeah, I'm going to have to diagnose this roster with a fantasy championship because I love it.
I mean, getting Zeke in Chubb is... I mean, how did you do that? That's impressive.
Solid all around.
Yeah.
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
And you still
like
got
that
Galladay?
I like that he stacked. I mean, he's got Galladay and Moore, which are both going to be wide receiver ones too. So he's done exactly what I want to do in every draft, which is 2 RB1s, 2 wide receiver ones. So I love that.
Yeah.
Also,
the doctor
everyone in the
approves.
chat is
Or
going
she.
crazy
I guess
right
it's
now.
Jamie. I don't know if it's a guy or girl. That's kind of he or she.
Yes.
Everyone in the chat right now is getting excited because we're at 779 likes and we want to get to 800. Okay. So if you're
we still got
watching
4
the
draft
stream,
guides left.
if you're watching this stream right now, hit that like button. Okay. Either go hard at it, or just give it a little tap-a-roo. Yes. Okay.
So anyway, Kyle starts blasting the like button.
Gordon Sorrells throws out a donation rating our team 12 team PPR. Right now you've got a C- because you didn't put a team name, so we'll work our way up from there.
He did.
Post Mahomes. I see it.
Post Mahomes.
However, I am going to take some points off because you named it Post Mahomes, but your quarterback's Matt Ryan. So just a small deduction there. Running back Henry and Drake. Wide receiver OBJ Ridley. Tight end is Hurst. Flex, he's got OBJ and Terry McLaurin as well. Not bad. PPR. Okay. I don't know. I'm just not on the Hurst train this year. B+ for me.
I think there's too many Falcons is my biggest concern because you got Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, and Hayden Hurst. And you're going to possibly need to start all three of them every week. And that part is a little bit too much. I love the division. We've been talking about it all offseason, but I don't know if I go with all three of them at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. A little top heavy with the Falcons there. I don't mind Hurst as a tight end, but again, he's one that I'm probably stacking with a second tight end and hoping one of them hits. But overall, not a bad squad. I'm gonna give you a B- because you don't have Mahomes and you used him in the name.
Jake, did you give a draft guide to Brady Wren?
Yes.
Brady, email info@thefantasyheadliners.com.
Yes, that is correct.
Yasin throws out another donation. Appreciate it, man. Dynasty throws out a donation. Appreciate it, man. Sumo Ninja 02. What's up, Sumo? He throws out a stream support for Filiberto's. What's going on, Sumo? Jake will get it the next time that he's out there. Nicholas Holmes, please rate it. No team name, so automatically a deduction. His running backs are CEH, Ekeler, Connor, Gibson, and Edmonds. Wide receivers, DJ Moore, Woods, Slayton, Deonte. Tight ends, Jaceki and Jarwin. Quarterback, Allen and Locke. He's also got the Steelers D. What are we thinking about this team? To me, I'm going with a B-. No, not B. A B.
I think it's a solid B. I mean, it worries me a little bit that after CEH and Ekeler, and we don't know if this is a PPR or a standard, Connor, Gibson, Edmonds, okay, maybe. I mean, are you going to start three of those? Are you going to start Connor in your flex? Then you got DJ Moore and Robert Woods as your wide receivers. Don't hate that. I'm not huge on Blake Jarwin. I like Jaceki there as your tight end. Once again, you got two quarterbacks with Allen and Locke. The only way that I'll have two quarterbacks on my roster on any league is if there is literally nobody else available that I give two craps about, and then maybe I will the very last round, maybe.
Are you saying that because you saw Phil G ask the question?
Yeah, because he's said it a few times.
Okay.
I just don't. I'm not huge on having two of them. I'll only do that if all the guys that I want. For instance, quick instance, if Cam Newton is sitting there at the end of the draft, and I don't have anybody else on my draft board that I possibly want, I'll take a stab at it depending on who my quarterback one is, just to see what happens. Possible trade bait later if you know you got some Patriots fans in your league or whatever.
The only time I'm doing it if I'm playing in a league that's like 16 teams or more. If you're getting into a situation where the draft is going to be so shallow that there might not be a whole lot of QBs left over for you to stream, then I'll go with the second quarterback. But if we're talking like 12 teams or below, screw it. I'm not drafting a second quarterback. I would much rather use that spot on just a dart throw that maybe ends up doing something and you get lucky and you've got that person on your roster. So I'm never drafting a second tight end unless it's super deep. Ethan.
Yeah, I am not a fan of two quarterbacks unless you have to start them. I'm sorry. I would rather have a lottery ticket at running back or wide receiver, because more often than not, those quarterbacks, even if you take them and you have them as your second quarterback on the bench, yeah, you might use them for your the bye week or whatever. But for the most part, you're not going to have to use them. And their value doesn't really change throughout the year. It's pretty rare, unless it's like what Jake said, it's a situation where their value is so low that there's, you're really hoping that somebody catches on to the hype and you're going to get somebody hooked on the hype. For the most part, they don't change. The value doesn't change for the quarterbacks. Whereas if you have a backup running back, like say a Chase Edmonds or, trying to think of another like really good example, like a Darrell Henderson, somebody that could that's an injury away from being a full-blown starter and that person could get injured next week. I would rather stash those guys on my bench and hope that I hit big on the lottery ticket than going with a quarterback that, he's going to be worth $5 now and he's going to be worth $5. And, even if you try to trade him down the road, that's just my philosophy on it.
I also saw Taylor reaching out to somebody in their dynasty saying that we didn't get to rating his team that he donated. There's no question there. We see the donation, but there's no question along. So try to put it in the chat, and we'll try to look out for it because there's no question attached to it. Moving on, Kyle.
Miguel Sosa, rate my team.
Miguel. I'm just saying what's up to Miguel.
Oh, I was like, what? Rate my team, 14 team, half PPR, Josh Allen, CEH Ekeler, Robinson Parker, Jonathan Taylor, Mark Andrews, Jonnu Smith, McKinnon, Ayuk, Hardman, Boyd, Steelers, Elliott. B plus for me. B.
It's a B.
B.
I'll give it a solid B.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a B for me as well. Wide receiver, I think, is a little weaker than I'd like. You don't have a ton of stuff on the bench. I mean, I guess you got Boyd, but still, I'm not loving any of the wide receivers to be like a true alpha dog wide receiver. You're hoping that you get that with Allen Robinson and Devontae Parker, but there's no guarantee that either of those guys is a wide receiver one. So I like the running backs. Love the running backs. So that's what's keeping you at a B. But overall, I feel like this just needs one really solid wide receiver to really kind of take you over the edge.
Devin Jakowski's throwing out a donation. Shout out to Kyle for pronouncing my name right. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, San throws another donation out there. Thanks so much. Yeah. More films. Says Inglorious Bradfords. Not bad. I like it. I'll give that a B plus.
Even though he's retired, I'll still take it.
Yep. 10 team PTR. He's got Russ, and then at running back Sanders and Eklers. At wide receiver Adams and Robinson. The 49ers defense. And then on the bench, he's got AJ Brown, James Conner, Hollywood, Deonte Johnson, Jaceki, Boston Scott, Moss, and Reagor.
I mean, I have a hard time trying to find a problem with your starting lineup right there, and you got some pieces on the bench too. So I don't hate that one bit. I mean, heck, Sanders, Ekeler, Adams, and A-Rob, that alone right there is a pretty solid core to have with Russell Wilson.
I'll give you an A minus.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking A minus as well. I think you could potentially try to upgrade at your wide receiver 2. With another stud. Obviously, you like to see Adams, but I think you could turn some of those bench pieces, which, yeah, they're nice names to have on the bench, but none of them are. You're not thrilled to like throw them into your lineup outside of AJ Brown and James Conner. So I would be maybe trying to package one of those guys with an AJ Brown and trying to get into that top tier of wide receiver if it was me. But overall, really good squad.
Yep.
Gordon's got a question for the doc. How concerned should I be about Drake being in a boot?
You should not be concerned. He was in a boot this time last year, mostly precautionary. For some reason, they don't want him to put weight on his foot. But he says he's fine. The coach says he's fine. The team says he's fine. I'm not concerned.
I have a question.
I've
like a legit doctor question. Because I've heard this in my life before.
Yes. If it burns when you pee, you should get it checked out. Ethan's not that type of doctor. He's told you that before, Jake.
I know. Luckily, I have an actual question that he probably knows the answer to. I've heard that if you wear a brace when you don't need a brace, that it can cause the joint to become weaker because it becomes dependent on the brace. Is that true or is that not true?
In some ways, yes, it is true. Ideally, you don't want to use a brace, or at least my philosophy. So it really depends on the person you're talking to. Some therapists, some doctors will tell you it doesn't matter. Use what gives you the most stability. I, for one, like to strengthen. The problem I have with braces is that even if they are, they can move, they give you a lot of freedom of movement, they also restrict your movement. So in some ways, it can put you at risk for certain things. It doesn't give you enough flexibility to move when you need to. Like, we're designed to move. So it really depends on who you're asking. For me personally, I try to keep people out of braces if I can. And if I'm using a brace, it's only short term to reduce their pain and provide them a little bit of extra stability. And then we're working on strengthening everything around it to actually get them back with using it without using it.
Awesome. That was me. That's like if I were to put a message in the chat.
I'll just send you the bill then, Jake.
Perfect. Hey, thank you.
Sir Eric the Great throwing out a $2 donation. Appreciate it. Eric, thank you so much. Jake, I can't see the last one. Yes, I can. Never mind. 12-team PPR, 2 QB, 3 bench spots. The team name is Shoots Baloots.
Okay.
With Z's.
With
With
Z's.
Z's. So
Shoots Baloots.
I don't really understand it, but whenever you put a Z in anything, it makes it cool. So the QBs are Carr and Locke, loving that value in a 2-quarterback league. And I'm giving you an A right away for being ballsy enough to go that route instead of succumbing to the masses and saying you got to go QB early. So absolutely love it. Anyway, the rest of his team is Barkley, Miles Sanders, Hunt, Montgomery, and Dobbins. Wide receivers are Julio Jones, Allen Robinson, DK Metcalf. Jonnu Smith is a tight end. Love that team in a 2-quarterback league. I'm going to give you an A.
Ethan?
The problem I have with it is just I don't think the quarterbacks are going to get it done for you. That's my biggest concern. I don't think the quarterbacks are going to get done for you. I think you're going to get beat by teams that have better quarterbacks, but overall, love the running backs. Wide receiver, you're good. Tight end, Jonnu. I mean, I hope that he breaks out this year because I said that he would be great last year. So I'm hoping that works out well for you, but I am a little concerned that your ceiling is a little lower than the average team just based on who you're starting at quarterback. That could explode pretty quickly for you if those two don't work out.
Jake, I just saw you type in the chat, but I'm going to say it again. Dynasty, you sent a super chat. You did not include a question with it, so we've got nothing to answer for you, man. So instead of typing still waiting in the chat, do us a favor. We'll keep an eye out for it. Leave your question in the chat, and we'll get to it, okay? You don't need to send another super chat, but don't say still waiting again, or we're done looking. Jamie Reyes in a standard league. Should he start DJ Chark or Leonard Fournette? For me, again, we're still a week away from the first games of the season. I'm not making any start-sit advice right now. More than likely, I would say Leonard Fournette, though.
I will always venture towards the running backs away from the wide receivers because I want those guaranteed touches, right? And now I want those 15, 18 touches that Fournette's going to get week 1 as a safety play in my flex. Now, it depends. That could change from week to week, but I mean, sitting here today, yeah, I would probably have to say Leonard Fournette, but that'll be something that we address more in depth, once week 1 comes around and we do all our start-sit videos. Ethan?
For me, it's Leonard Fournette right now and probably in a week. In standard, I'm always looking for running backs. I know that Fournette's touchdown upside was capped last year. He's due for some positive regression in that category. So while I think this team in general is going to be pretty bad, they're going to have to throw quite a bit. I would go with Fournette week 1 for sure.
Perfect. Next, Kyle?
Dynasty, just type the question where it says say something. I've never seen anybody figure out super chat, but not how just to leave a random comment. Just type what your question was. We're keeping an eye out for it. We'll get you. I can't see Giuseppe's comment. Jake, can you see it?
Yes, it says full PPR Dynasty, right in Ethan's wheelhouse. Wide receivers: Hopkins, Galladay, Cup, Boyd, Deonte, Reagor. I mean,
yeah,
I just went 6 to 9. Like I'm getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah, you did.
Running back: Sanders, Taylor, Ingram. You're not gonna love, but he also has Dobbins. So now you're back to the part. Should I shop a wide receiver for a running back? So he wants to know if he should shop a Hopkins, Galladay, Cup, Boyd, Deonte Johnson, or Reagor for another running back, or do we think he's good with Sanders, Taylor, Ingram, Dobbins?
I would not. If it was me, I would roll with Sanders and Ingram to start, and then you've already got the backups. You're going to transition smoothly into either Dobbins or Taylor, whoever takes off first. I've got bets on Taylor taking off immediately, but I don't think you give up the wide receiver depth. I like the fact that you've got starters that are very clearly defined starters with Galladay, Cup, and Hopkins, and then you've got Boyd coming off the bench. You've got Deonte Johnson coming off the bench. Jalen Reagor is going to come out. So I love it.
Taylor just says he loves the noise you make when I said Taylor, because you went, Awesome. All right.
So we're 846 likes. So I think it's time for us to give some stuff away.
Yep. I got 4 draft guides to give away. So I'm going to be looking for some names here in the chat. Just as a little bit of a challenge, if you guys want a challenge, last week's stream got 1,000 likes. So you're 150 behind if you want to beat last week's stream. I'm just throwing that out there. Just so you guys know that last week the crowd brought it really good. But I'm going to be looking for a couple names to give away some free draft guides to. Kyle, if you guys want to answer some questions, I'll look for some names.
Is Jimmy G still a breakout, or do you need to update the guide? He's still a breakout in my opinion. However, right now it could just get off to a little bit of a slower start. We are hearing that Deebo Samuel could be a little bit closer to 100%. He's started running again. Obviously, with Ayuk, the injury might be putting him behind a little bit. George Kittle's banged up. So to me personally, I'm still feeling like, yes, he can be a breakout. However, it's really going to depend on week 1. How does this team look? And how does it look over the first few weeks of the season in terms of guys getting back and getting healthy?
And to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ethan, none of those guys have been ruled out week 1, right?
What were the names again? I'm sorry.
Ayuk, Deebo, or Kittle.
I don't believe any of them have been officially ruled out. Deebo would be the most likely to miss week 1,
yep.
Given the severity of his injury.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing. I mean, if they start getting ruled out, then yeah, you start to worry a little bit more. But as of right now, until that happens, we don't want to make assumptions on it. Okay, go ahead. You may continue now, Kyle.
Let me see here. Everyone's asking for guides right now.
Oh.
Jaceki or Kittle? Oh, it's Kittle, 100%. Mm-hmm.
Did we already answer Mark Gorton up here?
Oh, we didn't. Hold on.
Good job, Ethan.
Hey,
Mark
I'm
Gorton
just
Jr.
looking out for us, okay?
Grade my team, 12-team half PPR, QB, Josh Allen, running back, Kamara and Jacobs and Drake and Hunt,
Yep.
wide receiver, Juju, Metcalf, Ridley, Chark, Debo, tight end, Fant. He's got to cut one player. Ethan, since you caught it, you get to go first.
I love the squad as a whole. If I'm cutting a player right this second, I mean, I hate to say this, but it's probably Debo. I think you're still fine at wide receiver without him. And obviously the injury concerns me, just being the injury guy. It's a foot injury. So with a Jones fracture, I think he'll be healthy at some point at the beginning of the year. So I don't think he's going to end up on the PUP, but we don't know that for sure. There's no guarantee. They could give him a full 6 weeks. And then you're like, okay, well, of course I have to cut Debo. I'm not going to just like hold him for 7 weeks. That doesn't make any sense. So for me, I'm cutting Debo. I think you could make an argument. No, I'm not really making an argument for anybody else. Debo would be the cut for me.
I will concur with the doctor.
Just what the doctor ordered?
Just what the doctor ordered.
I have winners.
Let's go. Let's get it.
I have winners. Hang on. All right. First one. Josh Fox. Josh Fox, send me an email at the email address down below. 4 left. Sorry, 3 left. I can't add. It's late. Tampa Chris.
It's late.
Tampa Chris. Tampa_Chris. Send me an email. Max Miller. Max Miller is going to get himself a draft guide. Also send me an email. And the guy that I've seen all night long in the chat pushing people to hit the like button to try to help us out. He's a like cheerleader for us tonight. Steve Latham. Steve Latham. Appreciate the support, my man. Send me an email. I will get you a draft guide.
Beautiful.
Whew.
Is that all of them?
That is all of them for right now. 873 likes. We've given away all 9 draft guides that we had that were donated by other members of the nation tonight. So that is definitely good to see. We love it when people pay it forward out there to other members of this great community. Are we all caught up on questions, Kyle?
Sir Eric the Great says,
ones?
would you give your opinion on my squad 14-man PPR? I put it in earlier. Team name Casino Royale.
I don't know if we're going to be able to find it.
I'm assuming he put it in the normal chat.
I've got it right here. 14-man PPR, quarterbacks, Dak, running back, Zeke, Connor, wide receiver, Keenan Allen, Julian Edelman, tight ends, Hurst, flex, you've got Todd Gurley and Brandon Cooks. Kickers, Jake Elliott with the Phillies defense, like that little kicker defense stack.
The Phillies?
Eagles?
Philly, what?
You said the Phillies defense?
Yeah, he's got Phillies defense.
I know, but Phillies baseball, get it. Never mind. Keep
the
going.
way you said it.
Does anyone care about baseball here?
Phillies defense.
No.
Oh, I didn't know this was a baseball channel.
Whatever. Shut up. Keep going.
The only one that cares about baseball is Kyle, and I'm hoping Swag Rich comes back. Bench is Naheem Hines, Rashad Perriman, OJ Howard, Golden Tate, and Christian Kirk. 14-man league. This isn't a bad squad. I like Dak. I like Zeke. I'm a little worried about Connor as your RB2. I think you're going to end up playing Gurley more often. Keenan Allen is your wide receiver 1. A little weak at wide receiver, I'll be honest. Keenan Allen, Julian Edelman. I'm not loving that. Brandon Cooks. You don't even really have much on the bench to come off to help those two. So I feel like wide receivers where I'm looking to upgrade. Tight end, Hurst, I'm okay with. I don't love OJ Howard as your tight end 2. I'm going to guess you can find a starter, somebody that's not sitting behind Rob Gronkowski. But overall, I'm going to say this is probably a B-, B, somewhere around there. It is a 14-man league, so that maybe the wide receivers just weren't available. But I think it's okay, but there's definitely some work to do to make this a real championship contender.
Yeah, being that it's 14 teams, I'll have to go with a solid B there also. Let's see. What else do we have?
We've got J123.
1-2-3.
J123. 12-man PPR. Stafford at the quarterback position. And then Henry Mixon, Edelman, Allen, Andrews, and then Steven Sims, Jake Elliott, Vikings D on the bench, Jalen Hurts, Lindsey, Beasley, Brown, Hardman, Ruggs. Personally, this is like a C for me. I mean, I love Henry and Mixon. I love Stafford. Edelman is your wide receiver too, is definitely going to hurt. I love Steve Sims. He's in the draft guy. I talked about him extensively. I like him, but he's not like a wide receiver 2 flex guy for me right now. There's really no reason for you to own Jalen Hurts. Lindsey is not a guy really is your running back 3. That's going to be tough. So there's a lot of ifs and a lot of possible up and downs on this team. Not really loving it. It's like a C for me.
Yeah, I don't understand the Jalen Hurts pick. Really, I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be anything fantasy.
It doesn't
valuable.
say if it's down. I'm assuming based on the players, it could be a dynasty.
If it is,
it's a dynasty squad. I'm still not loving Jalen Hurts, but that would ease it a little bit for me.
Maybe, yeah. If it's dynasty, I get it. If it's not, then I'm a little bit worried myself.
Yeah, you're really banking on one of Brown, Hardman, and Ruggs. I'm J123. I'm just gonna put it out here, man. You kind of got to type these super fast, unproven wide receivers. You got like 4 of them on your squad right now. Steven Sims, Marquise Brown, Mecole Hardman, Henry Ruggs. Those are all basically the same guy. So I'm going to go with a C plus if it's a dynasty league. I think you're going to need a little bit more depth, and I think that Jalen Hurts is probably going to be someone you're going to need to drop. I always hate giving out bad grades, but honestly, like I tell it how it is, and this is just not a great squad as currently constructed. But the running backs are good, so build around those and get yourself into a championship.
There you go.
J123 just unsubscribed. Connor Lambert. Love y'all. Love you back, Connor. Appreciate the donation. 12-team half PPR. Drake and Bake. I like it. Wentz at the quarterback position. Then running backs are Drake, Ekeler, Moss, Cohen, Justin Jackson, Darrell Williams. Wide receivers are Robinson, Moore, A.J. Brown, Gallup, Harry, Trent Taylor. Tight ends, Hooper Fant, and the Kansas City Chiefs. And he's got to drop one as well. To me, this team is like big boomer bust. Like, I think you're going to have some really big weeks. I think you're going to have some weeks where you're like, oh, crap, I got blown out. I don't mind it. B+ for me. And if I have to drop one, probably right now, I'm going to assume that's N'Keal Harry. I'm dropping him.
Yeah, that's probably my choice too. N'Keal. Yeah.
I think it's close between him and Justin Jackson. I think
Yeah.
Josh Kelly is going to end up being the RB2
Yep.
behind Ekeler. And to me, you have Ekeler. I don't know. I'm probably dropping Justin Jackson, but I could see an argument for Harry or Trent Taylor, to be honest. Overall, this squad is pretty good at the top. Wide receivers, you're pretty set with 3 studs. I like the wide receiver core quite a bit, and I like Gallup as kind of that, first guy off the bench for wide receiver. Tight ends, you've packaged them up pretty well. So overall, I'm probably dropping Justin Jackson, but not a bad squad. I'm going to go with a solid B.
Zach Hickerson throws out a donation as well. His team name is Saquon These Nuts.
Okay.
12. I like that one. 12-team half PPR. Wentz at quarterback. His tight end is Kelsey. And then he has Kamara, Taylor, Akers, Lindsey, Edmonds, and McKinnon at running back. Julio Woods, Gallup, Crowder, Kirk, and Paris Campbell at wide receiver. In a half PPR, I'll give it a B+.
The running backs worry me a little bit with Jonathan Taylor, Cam Akers, Phillip Lindsay, Chase Edmonds, Jerick McKinnon. I like those guys. I'm just worried, like, what if? There's a lot of ifs there.
I mean, he's got Kamara too, though.
Does he? Oh, I didn't see Kamara. All right, I dislike it a little bit less then. Because at least you got that one guy. I didn't see Kamara's name, and I was like, man, Jonathan Taylor and Cam Akers. You need one of them to, like, really start off hot from the beginning.
Yeah, I think you're going to wait a little bit for these running backs to pan out. But overall, I like this squad okay. I'm not in love with all these players. I mean, obviously you're set at quarterback and tight end. Running back, I think you're gonna get by pretty well with Kamara and Taylor to start, hoping Akers becomes something. Julio, yep, set at wide receiver 1. Woods set at wide receiver 2. Gallup, Crowder, Kirk, Campbell. Okay, not great. I don't love having to start any of those guys if you have to, but for the most part, not a bad squad.
Yeah. All right, well, here it is, 11:30 on the East Coast, still live streaming, been going for almost, a little over 2.5 hours now. We'll do a couple more questions. We're going to get out of here for the night. I do want to let everybody know, though, down below in the description is our Twitter handles. If you want us, or do you want a chance, because a lot of people have been saying, hey, rate my team, rate my team, rate my team, rate my team. We've been getting these all week long. If you want a chance to be in an episode next week of us rating your team, you need to follow us on Twitter and send us a screenshot of your team. We need team name, your team, and if you handwrite it, you get precedence over the people who just screenshot it, so me and Ethan can have fun with it. So if that's something you're looking for, follow us on Twitter, send us those screenshots. That's how you'll have another opportunity for us to rate your team right here on YouTube.
Grady Westmoreland says, will AB play on any team at all this year? My prediction is no, because he's already suspended and there's talk that he could get even more games. So I would be surprised if he plays for anybody this year.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm right there with you.
I don't see who's going to do it. I mean, too many games to miss. It's not like he's missing 4 games. I mean, he's missing more than half the season probably.
Oh, we're 5 away from 900 likes. Can we do it? Are you watching the stream right now? Have you hit like? If you haven't, do it. Oh, 4 away. Now we're 4 away. Hit that like button.
Okay, yeah, no more saying. Yeah, a lot of people said here in the chat that they enjoyed how we kind of roasted some teams. That's what it's all about, is just having some fun, roasting some teams, rating some teams, giving some feedback. So like I said, that's the best way to do it. Follow us on Twitter. The handles are down below in the description.
Jamie Reyes, what is the potential of drafting Jack Doyle? I'm liking Doyle a little bit more now. Trey Burton going down with that injury.
I don't hate
Ethan,
it.
have we heard anything on him yet?
I know that it's serious, but I don't know exactly what the I don't have a diagnosis yet. No.
Now that there's no Trey Burton, I'm thinking Doyle could push 100 targets this season.
Yeah, it's possible. It depends, though. I mean, how healthy does T.Y. Hilton and Paris Campbell stay? How big of a step forward does Michael Pittman make as a rookie? I mean, possibly. I mean, he could definitely be somebody who eats up some targets, may not get huge yardage touchdown numbers, but could eat up some heavy targets.
Mark Gordon Jr., keep or cut Debo for Chase Edmonds or Cam Newton. If it's a 1 QB league, I'm not picking up Cam Newton if you already have a quarterback. So don't even worry about that. And honestly, for me right now, I will keep Debo over Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, I'm keeping Debo unless it's a 2 quarterback league and you can get Newton. I'm going to keep Debo and I just ride out the injury. We always tell people you can't focus too much on when it comes to injuries. If you're talking dynasty or long term, you cannot focus too much on the immediate impact. You don't want to do that. So I'm gonna go with Debo.
J123. We spent about 5 minutes on your team alone, so we did rate your team. You were the one that had Ruggs and Hardman and Brown, and Ethan told you they were all basically the same player. So we got your team.
I apologize for being mean.
Yeah, that's when he apologized for even being mean and telling the truth. So we got you.
Dynasty, I see you chatting in there. You're typing questions, but you're not putting your team. So I don't know what to tell you anymore, my man. Looks like we're going to miss you on this one tonight. Connor Lambert, he's dropping a dono. He wants us to pass the draft guide to the left. So it looks like we got one more to give away. Paulino Romero dropping a donation as well. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. We're over 900 likes now, so appreciate everyone hitting that like button and tuning in tonight.
Yep, I got one more draft guide to give away now, so the first one that catches my eye is going to be who gets it before we get out of here for the night.
Jay, I see you typing again. We already rated your draft team. We spent probably more time on it than any other team.
Let's see here. Perfect. Dan Magnin. My name is now to the left because it's to the left of his actual comment. Well played, Dan. Send me an email.
There we go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's probably going to do it for tonight. Welcome to Dr. Ethan Turner, his very first live stream.
Should we have him back? Should we have Ethan back? Let us know in the chat if we should invite him back, or hit the like button for him, one way or the other. We'll see if he passes the test of coming back or not, or maybe he won't want to come back. We'll see.
Is this one of those situations where we hope he just says he doesn't want to come back, so we don't have to give him the news that?
No, probably not.
I'm hearing a lot of smack talk from you, Kyle.
Paulino Romero throws out another donation. Thanks so much, Paulino.
Awesome. Yep. Well, hey. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week. I mean, the week is almost over now. You're going to start a fresh week here, whether you're going to school, whether you're going to work, whether you're just going to sit at home in your pajamas, whatever it is that you're doing tomorrow. Hopefully you guys have a great week coming up. Myself and Kyle, I know Ethan will probably be on on a show or two this week also. Make sure you're on the lookout for that. Hit the like button for us. Show us some support. We're trying to chase 100,000 subscribers. So we're right around the corner. If you like the content, if you like having fun with fantasy football, you found the place to be. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Really, really appreciate all the support tonight. Once again, love how we see the community paying it forward to other people. That's what it's all about. That's why this was all made, is just to give people a little bit of an opportunity to feel like they're involved in a community and not just another number, not just another comment. You're all a part of this. So we greatly appreciate that support for myself, for Kyle and Swag Rich, whichever one it is. Looks like Swag Rich right now. And the doctor, Dr. Ethan Turner. We appreciate you guys here tonight. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good one.